You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting citizen. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather around the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna miss and dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna run this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting citizen. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather around the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Howdy.
welcome to the show. It's the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 4, Episode 19. My name is Joe Red. And joining us this evening for the second time on the show, the return of Gamer Ahmer. How you doing?
Good, good. I finally have my voice mostly back. I was a little
know.
sick from the last video game convention.
I know. I appreciate you coming on and doing this. I know you said it was a little iffy. You were feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's just my voice now. It like kind of like goes in and out. It's like I've been at like a rock concert and screaming along the whole concert. You know, like when you like start to lose it. That's kind of how I feel.
I appreciate it. So that's the price you pay for going to the conventions, though. I mean, I feel like, how do you not get something from seeing all those people? Everybody's touching everything. Everybody's up close, personal. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but we're having a blast. You know, it's
worth it.
It's worth it.
You know, you get a couple holy grails, you get a couple diseases. It is what it is.
They go hand in hand, I guess.
Yeah. So speaking of which ones have you recently been to?
So I just got back from, I say just got back, but it seems like it was yesterday. It was Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. So it's in Pittsburgh, so in Pennsylvania. It's not too far. Like it was driving distance. And it was a 3-day convention, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's really cool because they don't just focus on video games. Like we were talking about kind of off the air. They were like tabletop board games. They had this amazing arcade area where they had to have over 100 plus like pinball and arcade machines. They had free play set up. They had tons of vendors, and not just video games either. Like, you know, there's like candy and like all kinds of stuff. And then people had Pokemon cards and video games and art and, you know, just different art prints and artists who make crochet cool PlayStation like characters. Like
That's
it was
awesome.
just really, it was cool to see, you know, the variety.
That's fun. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like we were talking about it earlier. Like, I feel like game culture is more than just games. It's like nerd culture. Like, kind of like, you know, people who are into this are into like lots of different hobbies like that, and they're kind of go hand in hand. Like I was just talking about, I never really talk about it that much, but I'm like super into tabletop games. I love that sort of stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'll start another show about that at some point. Be kind of cool. But when you said you were talking about how they have like the big free arcades, I don't know if I feel like some people, it's harder to appreciate that now. As like when I was a kid, I remember my dad, we used to go to like these this thing called the hot dog safari. That's what it's called. And it was literally like you can go and you pay and you can eat like you pay to get in, and then like hot dogs, and you eat as many as you want, which whatever, who cares? For a little fat kid like me, it was a very exciting day. I liked it. But they had a free arcade there. This is back when I was like 10 or something like that, you know what I mean? And so back then is when the arcades, that's when you know, I was the peak of gaming. You know, home consoles weren't as good as the arcade, so that was like you loved going there, and you always had to pay money. So at these big events, they had those free arcades, and oh man, back then, like you couldn't tear me away from it. Like my dad would just be like, you know, let's go look at this, let's go look at it. And we were like, nah, I'm gonna beat Smash TV because I'll never have this chance again in my life, because I'll never have $47. Like that's pretty much how we did it. And I remember like just loving the fact that you could play those games for free and actually see like level 4 or level 5 of some of these arcade games, because I swear to God, like you ask most people's memories of the art, like what do you remember from the Simpsons arcade? Maybe the first 2 or 3 levels, but most
Quarters.
most people, they never really, you never got past that, because back in the day, like I don't know, maybe how it was for you, for you anyone watching, but like, you know, my dad only gave me $5-10, and that was what you got. So if you chose to play games that cost $1, or you know, pumped a bunch of quarters in and lost them real quick and ran out of money earlier than everyone else, that was your day, and you get to watch everyone else play games and have fun for the rest of your day. So like we would, you know, you could only play a game for like certain amount of quarters, and that was it. Like you had to like back off and go try something else, or you're gonna run out of money too fast. You know, you'd have to
It's like you had to make that stretch.
But
like as long as you could.
Exactly. That's why like I always liked skee ball, like air hockey, stuff like that. They'd be like 1 quarter, 50 cents. You could play for like 10-15 minutes sometimes. That was the good stuff, the good old days. I miss the arcades greatly, like deeply and sincerely. Like I really do. That was like a huge part of my childhood that I miss. I guess they still have some arcades, some places, I'm assuming.
It's like different though, because they have all those like redemption machines with like the tokens, and then you got to get, you know, things to exchange. It's like less and less classic games, and it's more of these like quick, take your money, here's some tickets, go get a Tootsie Roll. Like it's just you know,
like
it's
gambling
just a lot going on. So.
That's like more what they have, like, isn't it, like stuff like that, gambling games?
Yeah, I think so. For kids, you know, gotta start them young, I guess.
Yeah, I went to what the hell is it called? Dave and Buster's or whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this will be cool. They'll have a bunch of games. No, not really.
Yeah, there's like a couple places similar to that, like Dave and Buster's, and then they have like Round One, and they all have like bowling alleys, like some of that Round One does, and then they have like a pool table area, and then they have like you could play free play arcade, but only certain machines, and you only get it for like an hour or two, and you pay X amount of dollars, or you could play like all the games, but some of them you have to pay like per machine. So like they try to make it reasonable, but then you kind of get stuck on which games you can and can't play, and some cost a couple dollars, and then you just got to keep putting more and more, and you could spend a lot of money if you know, don't do like the deals. It's not as fun.
So where I'm from, way up in New Hampshire, they have like an old school arcade style. I think it's called Fun World or Funland. I can't remember what the hell it's called. One or the other. Fun something. But it's like you know, like you said, it's like got like a bowling alley and, you know, ice cream for kids and tons of pinball, but it's still like an old arcade. And it's fun to go to, but the problem is like you go there now and everything's 30 years old, and like everything, half of it's broken, every half of it, like only one player works, 2 players broken. You know, it's a little disappointing in that. So you'll be like, oh yeah, let's go play like Terminator or whatever. Anything with like one of them like guns that have like a haptic feedback or anything like that they're always broken. So yeah, it's like half the experience, but it's still neat to go there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, they should have people there, you know, keeping up with those machines, but it's like nothing more disappointing in the world than like this experience happened to me. Every year I used to go to what we would call like Ocean City. You'd have like an ocean, a boardwalk. You have all these like Fun City, Sport Land, like all these different like arcades. And there would be one place that had a Dance Dance Revolution arcade game in there. And I would play every year, and I love that. I used to like play that game. I used to work out with it. Like I lost weight playing it. Like so much fun. Nothing, it was like more nostalgic for me than like going to the mall in middle school, being dropped off, playing for hours, staying out late, having my grandparents come pick me up, like after 10 o'clock. I thought I was like a cool kid, playing this with all my friends. Well, one year I went there and I put in money and I pick my song and I go to start and like the arrows aren't working. And then like the board's like wobbling like this. And like I just couldn't play the same way. And I was so upset. I didn't even finish that song or the other two songs. I wasted a couple dollars and it was just so heartbreaking. Like it just was not the same. And they didn't fix it the next time I went. Like the next year it was broke too. Like they just, I don't know. It was so disappointing.
Hey, I bet if you tried hard enough, you get your hands on one of those machines and get one, relive those memories.
Yeah, one day. I have I haven't played in like a long time, but I do have like one of like the metal mats, but it's kind of like tucked away in the game room and you can like hook it up. I hook it up to my Xbox kiosk, my original Xbox kiosk, because like the height is there with like the TV. And then I have like the metal dance pad, and it's kind of similar, just because it's so loud, that kiosk, because it has like the bass in it. It's just like pumping at you. So it really does feel like one of those games, but one day I'll get one and I'll put it in a garage and I'll keep up with it. I'll fix it, make it perfect.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Speaking of masters of the dance, we have our own very own Australian breakdancer, Mr. Fixie Games. There's everybody. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
He's the one who trained that lady in the Olympics, in case anybody didn't know.
That's impressive.
Fixie was her instructor. Yeah, taught her everything.
That was
It's just
great.
embarrassing that lady got it. Well, it was like the coach was her husband or something.
But really, honestly, that is embarrassing.
Like, oh my god.
But also,
I'm a bit late. I had a tournament this morning I woke up for and then went back to bed and didn't wake up.
that happens. Well, we're glad you're here either way.
Those naps, I'm telling you, they get me every time. Is it going to be 20 minutes? Is it going to be 5 hours? Am I going to wake up the next day and not know what day it is? Who knows?
You know, it's bad when you go to bed and you set 3 alarms for 3 different times you're going to wake up. And I'm like, I'm going to watch this on this sporting event, and then I'm going to play this tournament, and then I'm going to wake up for the podcast, and it's just going to work. Yeah.
Yep.
I missed the sporting event, late for the podcast. Happy birthday, Brandy, by the way.
Thank you. We have an hour and a half. At midnight, it'll be my birthday.
I'm in the future, so I'm allowed to say it.
Cyrus got it right.
True, that's right.
You clearly need the Nintendo Alarmo.
I need the Nintendo Alarmo.
That's what you need. If it gave you a high score and some coins, you would wake up.
That'll solve all of your problems.
They're one of those beds that like don't stop shaking until you run to the other end of the house and turn off the alarm or something.
They need to make one that projects a holographic Pokemon and you have to fucking throw a ball at it. You'd be like, get it.
They have apps that you can set, and you'll have to do like a math equation.
Yeah, I've seen that.
In order for it to like turn off.
Ooh.
And you can set it to be like an easy one or one where you have to really use your brain.
Yeah, that way you can't just like snooze it. Like I had to do that in college. I'd always pick the easier ones, but like I would put my phone, if I knew I had something very, very important, I put my phone like across the way and I'd have to stand up, do the math equation. It'd be something simple. And then I'd be up at that point, So
I'm like, I have anxiety problems. So like if I set an alarm, I'm one of those people who wakes up 10 minutes before the alarm because I don't want it to go off. And I have to shut it off a minute before it goes off. I can't even handle the anxiety of it. So I don't know, but I've changed. That's not how it was in the past. When I was a youngin', I would sleep 24 hours straight, like no problem. I would just that was never an issue. It's only as I've gotten to be an old man that I started waking up earlier and earlier and don't need alarms and stuff. It's kind of weird. Guess it just happens when you get older.
Yeah, I wake up super early, but I'm one of those people. I set an alarm every 5 minutes. So some days I'll snooze it 1 to 3 times. And then the others are like backups just in case I ever oversleep. It never happens, but because I also have cats and they wake me up right before the alarms most of the time because they want food or something.
This is
But
how my phone's looking right now from last night.
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Yep,
actually
that's
All different times, multiple ones, backup ones.
so I think you're probably right. I think I'm more trained by my dog waking me up than anything else. She's like constantly like anytime she makes noise, I'm like, you gotta puke? You need to go out? What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, oh no, what's
Yeah.
happening? Like immediately, like
It's like you always know too, like depending on like the noises surrounding the animals, the dog, the
are
cat,
you
like
gonna puke is the
you
first thing
good?
I always have. I'm like, oh god, no. Are you on me?
I must
Oh,
be
no.
lucky. Octavia she has this bladder that like I put her inside yesterday at 12 o'clock because I did some spraying outside, and then we went to bed and she sleeps in my bed. Woke up, it's literally like 24 hours later, and she's gone to the toilet. Okay, like first time she wanted to go out.
Wow. I mean, I have
She
cats,
doesn't
so
drink much
luckily
water,
I don't have
but
to worry about
always just
that.
never drinks much water.
Sorry, what
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying,
lucky.
Brandy?
I was just saying that's lucky then, but I mean, I also have cats, but I would just remember like I've always had like little dogs, like my parents have always, and I swear it's like every few minutes they want to go outside. So having one that can go that long, that's great.
She wants to be inside all the time, so that's probably got something to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be out there, so I'll just hold it.
So my dog loves going outside, but she doesn't like going out alone. She which is frustrating because I like put like a very nice, expensive fence in my backyard. And I'm like, you can go out there all day now. You just hang out, play, enjoy it, be a dog. And she's like,
No.
throw the ball. I'm like, no, I gotta work. Just go out and play. And she's nah. I'll wait till you're done. I'm like, oh man, come
I'll
on.
hang out inside.
Yeah, no. That sounds terrible. Like, okay, so it is what it is. So I have an N64 themed thing here, and I just kind of wanted to check in general, like with your full set collecting. How you been going on those? I know you've been closing in on a few of them. You're working on Super Nintendo. You're still working on N64. What else you been working on?
Yeah, I just announced them all. I was like, I'm gonna go for all of it. No, so Nintendo 64, I have the North American set. I've had that for years. That was the first thing that I honed in on.
Okay, that's right.
And I got like the worldwide consoles. I only need I guess one technically left. And then the J Lawson console with the controller. I don't have that. That's like over $6,000. I just don't want to shell that out.
What is that?
And
For somebody because I don't even know what it is.
it's like super limited, and it's like a loss. I think it was like a store, maybe in Japan or something.
Okay.
And it's very like limited. Like there's several of them out there, but people like hold on to them, and then of course they know what they sell for, so they always mark them. It's always around like $6,000 or something, and I just don't want to do that. And then there's two controllers that I need. One is the Millennium 2000, and it's like a $2,000 controller.
Dear
But
Lord.
I've had the chance to buy it for like a couple $100s, so I keep like holding out to find that one more lucky hope.
Fingers crossed.
One day. And then there's also that was it the E3 controller? It's the gold one. I'm pretty sure it's like
Oh yeah,
E3.
yeah,
They
I know
only
that
have
one as
like
well.
12 or 24 or something. They don't have that many of those ones. And those ones also go for several thousand. So like one day I'm hoping to get all those. But game wise, I need 23 more Japanese variant games. And I have a worldwide set. I have all the PAL release exclusives.
Oh wow.
Japanese. I just have the 23 left. And then I have all the North America. And then I have some that were like in Australia, like they're there, but they're also in Japan. So like I have all of them. So
Do you have them all CIB as well?
no.
That would
I
be
wish I don't have that kind of, because like I probably would have been able to do it if I only did N64, but because I do like, this is like my toy room, because I collect too much, I can't like afford or like justify spending X amount of money on all the cardboard. So there's, if I find like a deal or I get lucky, I'm gonna buy it, complete. Like I have a lot of complete games,
Mhm.
but most of them are loose cartridge based.
Yeah, that's fair. And doing complete these days is just you got to dedicate 10 years of just that.
Yeah, and
Basically.
I like everything, so that's
Yeah.
like, it's like you find one thing, and next thing you know, I get down this rabbit hole, and then I collect, turtles. So then, like, I have all these bookshelves of turtles, and then it's like, oh, Nickelodeon, boom, oh this, oh that, it's just. But if I were to sell, like, that shelf's like probably like $1,000 if I sold all that. I'm sure I could buy like one game.
Yeah.
But
Or part of a manual when it comes to certain games.
yeah, or I could sell all them bookshelves and get, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, one box for all of that. So it's,
And then the other shelf is for the manual.
yeah. And then there's a lot of blank space.
Yeah, no, I get that. And then it's like once you've got it, it takes up one shelf. It's like, was it worth it?
Yeah.
I could turn this into so much more.
Yeah, it's hard, sometimes when you sit back and you're like, well, I only paid X amount and now it's worth this much. And then you're like, do I sell it? But I'm like crazy and I'm like, no, I'll never sell any of this stuff,
It's an interesting feeling. I had it happen this week to a steelbook I own. I always thought it was worth a few €100, blah, blah, blah. And then one sold this week for £1,000.
Wow.
Which is like, oh my God, that's like 4 times what I paid for it. But I still don't want to sell it. It's still like a holy grail item, blah, blah, blah. But it brings up a question like, have items got a price on them where it goes from your holy grail to something you'll sell because the price is just more than what you think it's worth?
Yeah, it's hard because during COVID, everything skyrocketed too. And there were like things that were selling for like crazy amounts. And like a lot of people, they jumped over to, let me just sell this and then I'll rebuy it back or whatever. But I was just like, someone could offer me $1 million and I'd say no.
I love it. Well, that brings up the next question. That say a certain item has that jump in price, suddenly everyone who owns the item has those questions. So let's say 5% of the people decide that they want that money. Suddenly they've flooded the market and the price is going to go back down again.
Yeah, it's like a hard, I guess, like a balance too. Like it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. And certain games can have a bigger influence than others. It's crazy.
I definitely, for me, it comes down to like a couple different things. Like if I have an actual emotional attachment to it, like it was my game growing up or something, I probably would never sell it. That doesn't matter. Like it's not a matter of money. I just don't. It's mine. Like no, like my PlayStation magazines with my name on it that I got when I was in 1997 or whatever. I'm like, no, like I'm not selling those. I don't give a shit if you want to way overpay. I'm like, those are mine from when I was a kid. Like, but if there's some game that I get in a bundle that I kind of like that I'm not necessarily crazy about and it triples, quadruples in value, then yeah, I probably would. But I wouldn't like even go out of my way to. It'd be more like if somebody offered, like, and they were like, oh, I really want your game. I'll give you this much. And then I'd be like, well, if this is something that'll actually make you that happy and I'm making money, I guess I would do it, So
I've made a rule. If I do that, and if I ever want to get the game back in the future, I will pay less than what I sold it for. I will not pay what I sold it for or more. That's the rule. I don't care what it is. Because that's like a principal thing.
Feels better when you don't have to like overpay. Because that's always like, a lot of people's regrets too. Like if you sell it, for 100, you don't want to buy it back, for 200, 300, 400. Like that just...
Yeah,
you take like a big hit.
I sold one game for $400 and it's $1,000 today, and I'm not buying that again. It was a game. It was Michigan Report from Hell on the PS2, and it's like jumped up to the most expensive power game. But at the time, I was very happy with the deal. I paid $1 for it, turned it into 450. Bought a collector's edition that's since jumped up in price as well.
Yeah.
And I'd rather own that collector's edition because it's one of my favorite games, Bloodborne. But I do always think about it. I could own that, but I gave it up.
We all have stuff like that. The one I at one point I was like, I need to downsize my collection, and I sold all of my DS games and all of my 3DS games because I was like, I'm really not into these consoles that much anymore. And then like a couple years later, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I
am into that stuff.
Back. And I've gotten almost all of it back, but the ones that hurt the most is I had all of the Dragon Quest games.
Oh no.
And I sold them all for dirt cheap, and they're all like freaking $100 to $200 now. And I'm like, oh man. So like those are painful to buy back. They are, Cyrus. I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was being crazy. I was having but now I know better. I don't do that. I never sell off a whole collection of anything. I'm just like, if I sell, I usually just pick out some stuff.
It's interesting you bring that up, Joe, because like just thinking, I've sold some collections over the years. I used to collect Xbox games. I sold literally at one point I had 500 original Xbox games. I have 0 today. I used to collect PSP games. I had like 250 PSP games, including like one that was well over $1,000. Rare stuff from Japan, JRPGs. Like I had a really cool PSP collection. But at the time, it used to live double shelved at the back. I never cared about it. I'd only pick up games because they were there. It wasn't me going, oh, I need this for the PSP collection. I said, no, I want to collect PS4 stuff or PS2 stuff. So like I don't have any regrets selling those type of collections. Never played them. Just collected them for like the sake of, I'm a collector. That's cool. Let's pick that up as well. The only one regret I would have was not collecting the Vita, but I never owned any Vita games. So it's like, you can't make that regret. And the reason I don't buy Vita games today is the average game is just a ridiculous price. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, I think like how most of us have to look at it, everything happens for a reason. It got you to this point. People might have needed that money for like something, if your car goes up or a living situation or unfortunate circumstances. I mean, no one can really say what is the right way to collect and which way, it all led you to this point. So, we're all going to have those things, the FOMO that we missed out on, or some regret, or some collecting mistake, or what we all wish we knew back in the day. If we all saved every game, kept them sealed, it wouldn't be like this today. So, I mean, we just have to hope for the best and, think everything happens for a reason. And, but we all have those stories of, when you're a kid, you trade things in, or your parents throw away your whole Sega Genesis collection. Mom,
we had the fun
that. So
everything was 30 cents, and I didn't go buy nothing. Could have bought every NES game, the whole library, for like $50.
I will add that story works two ways. If you ever bought a collection cheap, you bought someone else's childhood collection, so you've done it to them. And I've bought like 100 collections over the years, so I probably ruined 100 childhoods.
Yeah, we're sitting on the opposite side. Someone's like, remember that one girl that she bought all that stuff? I hate her. So I mean, we're just sitting on the
I do think,
but that's not it. Remember that garage sale Mom had? She had all my games in it and didn't tell me.
And then meanwhile, here's us walking away.
That I do feel bad about. If like,
Yeah, speaking, I got the Bloodborne Nightmare edition.
So my funny story, my mother, like when I was a kid, I used to build models because I was really cool. I don't know if you know that. Like really cool kids sit around and they build little models because that's And not only was I that cool. I used to build models of Star Trek ships because I was that.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I used to build
real cool.
birds of prey and all that stuff. Anyway, so I had all these models.
Also had the cool kids table in the library at school.
Uh-huh.
I had all these models and that I had built over the years, and they took so much time. And I remember one day, my parents were split up, so I would go back and forth. I went back to my mother's house, and I'm just like, "Hey, where's all my toys and stuff?" She's like, "I just gave that to the kids down the street. You don't play with that stuff anymore." I'm like, "I never played with them. They're models. You're supposed to look at them. What the fuck are you talking about?" She just gave them all away. I was like, well, that was a good use of my time. I was so bitter about it. Like, what the fuck?
You would think back now, like, can't believe my mum did that. But really, until you're 18, that your parents can sell whatever you want. She might have needed to put food on the table that week or something. So you can't have any grudges against your parents. I was lucky that this next statement's going to say this next statement's not true, but my parents split up. But because of that, one parent was a bit of a hoarder, one wasn't. So I was lucky that my dad kept absolutely everything from like 1997 to 2004 of my gaming life. So when I got into it, it was all there. I was like, sweet. But then I missed the PS2 era because mum got rid of it all, and I had to. Actually, this is fun. I will say this is fun. Going back and collecting your childhood again is fun. Like, I think that is one of the most fun things in collecting. Going, I owned these 40 games as a kid, and these 40 games are what I'm going out to buy. And then when you buy them all and start playing, and that is awesome. It mightn't be your copy, but it's it's still that game, and it's probably going to be in better condition because you're not a kid anymore.
Yep.
That's how it always starts, Figsy.
Yeah, I think that's
his collecting journey begins. I just want the 40 games that I had when I was a kid. All right. Yep.
And then I wish I had this one too. I wish I had this one.
You know what I never had? Or you know what I need now? I needed those games that I played at my cousin's house when I was little too.
Yeah.
He had Blast.
When I rented from the video store.
Remember?
Wait, it had a sequel?
Yeah, remember that kid down the street at Turbo Graphics? Oh, you know what? I can get that. I have money now. I'm an adult. I'm gonna get Bonk's Adventure. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it all goes. And then next
15 years later, still got no money, still got buying games.
Yeah. Then you're a hoarder and you're trying to figure out where everything's gonna go. And then instead of collecting little things, it's like now I want kiosks and displays and standees. And then it's like I have like a whole like graveyard looking area of standees in my basement because like I just don't know where the stuff like that corner over there. It's like
the Jimmy Neutron corner,
like that, and then like the Rugrats one, and then the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So it's just like they're all stacked, but then there's like a turtle behind there.
Yeah, I can see Michelangelo peeking out. Yeah,
and then he's wearing a Burger King. I'm like trying to point.
That's cool.
He's wearing a Burger King Rugrats hat. Still can't. Okay, there. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on in that corner over there. Like, it's just like all piled.
I make a rule these days, and it's part of when I sold my PS collection, I implemented it. If it's not on display, it's on eBay. That's my rule. So everything I collect has to be on display on the front row, and if I can't fit it, then I sell it. So that makes me, in rooms where it's tight spaces like the consoles, it makes me pick and choose and only buy little things, where today I always just buy the standard version of a game because, fitting a collector's edition is a nightmare, but I've got plenty of empty shelves for just little games.
I mean, that's a smart, thing. I couldn't do it because that gives me anxiety.
That's fair. Each to their own too. I like it. It gives me anxiety when things are messy and everything like that. So I like it really neat and tidy like this.
I just try to like work hard to give everything a space. So like up here, like I had stuff on piles like on the ground, and this PC is a different setup than last time because I had one desk in the closet right there. Well, I bought a vintage Hot Wheels computer and I wanted to display it so that I could get Windows 98 installed and I can play all the classic PC games that I grew up with. So I was like, this is too good of an item because they're worth like $2,500+. And I got it for a couple $100 from someone who wanted it to go to me, a collector who's not going to sell it. So I felt like I needed to get it up off the floor, out of the box, put it somewhere. So like, I had to like shimmy some things around. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to clean up things. I'm going to put things on shelves. And if it doesn't fit, I have to move it out of this room. So I had all this like Mortal Kombat stuff on like this whole bookshelf. I was like, Mortal Kombat is video games. That should be in the game room downstairs. So then I moved all these boxes off the shelves and somehow I made space. And then I put all the Mortal Kombat stuff. And I'm like, see, this looks so much better. It's like organized. And I actually somehow Tetris and Jenga and like I made all these like weird little puzzle things and somehow everything just fit perfectly. So it's like that's what I do when things I know it looks a little cluttered, but it's all clean. It's like dusted, it's not dirty. It all has like a theme. Like Goosebumps is there. Dinosaurs are there, Flintstones, Cartoon Network, Ghostbusters, Spider, like it's all, it's just like a method to the madness. So like that's my goal now is before things come in, I need to put them away, don't put them down. So that's
like you have to plan your purchases, not just for what you want, but where is this going to go if I do end up buying it and different things like that. Brandon, I want to ask about the Hot Wheels computer. Is it like red and blue, those like Hot Wheel colors?
Here, let me.
I think your mic went out, Brandy. You did that?
Oh, I tapped it. All right, so here is, it's not done yet.
Oh, that's so cool.
But it's the Hot Wheels computer, and that's a light. I have to plug it in. And then that little...
Batman one as well?
Oh, yeah, so that's a TV. It has a DVD player, and it has a DVD remote, and the remote for the TV, and it's like the Batarang.
The remote looks like a Batarang.
Yeah, the remote's probably worth more than the TV, right?
Yeah, they're like, that bundle is over $850, but I have the original box, too. So someone gave me the box. The guy who I bought this from, he said, you have the TV with the DVD thing? I'll give you the box. So, like, he was just super nice. So cool. And I have, like, that's, like, an extra new set of speakers, even though I have speakers. And then it comes with, like, a new one of, like, those CD cases. Like, it's just, like, this, like, cool little setup. But I need to get lifters. And I need to, like, not put that there. I need to, like, mount it to the wall. And then I need to get, like, lights in there. I want to make it look pretty. Because, like, this room, like, it's hard to see there. But that's actually, like, a Mario fan. Oh, look, there's my smoke detector. Don't pay attention to that. Because it's not plugged in. But, yeah, so I got all these bookshelves. And then on this wall, it's, like... It. And then there's, like, Power Rangers. Over
I love it. I do like the themes. It makes it look really cool.
Yeah, like like Simpsons, Pokemon. So like there's like a method to like the little bit of clutter type thing.
This is dangerous.
Imagine the coolest like 10-year-old in the world in 1988 using that Hot Wheels computer.
This is just making me want to go out and buy every goddamn He-Man I ever had and buy every freaking Inhumanoids toy. Like, there's so many things I would love to collect from back then. This is dangerous. I don't have the room. So, like you said, when you buy something, you have to have a plan of where it goes. Like, it's very true. And
Brandon, I'll let you know a little secret. My game room's actually like spread out over 3 rooms. It's not just like I need everything and make it look nice. Yeah, it's 3 rooms of the house. And then there's a shed full of stuff too, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, your mic.
You muted again, by the way.
Your mic's
Brady,
up.
you muted.
Oops. So ideally, you do want all your stuff together. But it's just like, I couldn't fit all the toys in the game room downstairs in the basement. And then it's like, when you start bringing in certain things like the kiosks and the displays, it's like that space is like done quick. So it's kind of like
crazy.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you just have to like, envision certain areas. Like, can I take over this spare bedroom? Can I take over this area? And then next thing you know, you got overflow stuff in the garage, and then you're thinking about making another game room in the garage, but you got to get it like winterized, you know, so that it's not too cold or too hot. And, you know, so it's all drywalled and all that. I just have to get a little bit more done to it. And, you know, it's like,
I'm in the issue where my garage, every day I go in there and like stuff from the roof falls onto the table. So it's like, well, I can't put nice stuff out here because it gets dirty every day. It doesn't get wet, but it's just like dust and stuff from the roof every single day.
yeah, and that's another thing too. Like you got to figure out what, yep. Because it's like the insulation or like the HVAC or whatever, like it's just like a different area because I guess it's not as protected. It's kind of like up against the elements.
Yeah, and they're designing things to have, you know, cars and tools and things like that. They're not rare collectibles that can't have water in them or dust or anything like that.
True.
Yeah, you don't want any type of humidity or extreme heat or extreme cold at all. Like literally, like, you know, it makes them expand and contract and your wood shelves and bend and everything.
Yeah, that's really not good.
No. Like I have like you don't even want light in your game room. Like I black out all the windows. Like you don't want sunlight. You don't want anything coming in. It's so. But
blinds always down, and I'm so grateful I moved from a hot to a cold climate because now I don't have to like temperaturize the rooms and everything. It's just cold.
Yeah, cold
Games
is better.
So much better in the cold.
Mm-hmm. So do electronics.
Yep.
In general,
everything
much better. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen, but I seen a video. I forget the YouTuber's name. It was a big YouTuber in Florida after the hurricanes, and everything in his collection just went moldy. He had to throw it all out. It was the most heartbreaking video to watch. It's like, if you live down there, what can you do? You know, in your whole house.
Stilts. Build your house on 300 feet in the air like an Ewok or something.
If water comes through the roof, mold's everywhere. You can't.
Yeah, but then. Yeah.
If you're a collector, don't live where hurricanes
it's just like
go. Flooding and
then like what do we all do? We always.
There's a delay, guys.
Yeah, like. Oh.
Go ahead, Brandy.
Can you still hear everything though?
Mm-hmm.
Just a slight delay. Okay, good. So what do a lot of collectors do? They always put their video games like in a basement. And what happens in basements? A lot of flooding sometimes, you know, like I feel like that always happens, but it's like the biggest space that's like typically unused. Like a lot of people don't use their basements, so they just, you know, put collectibles or put their game rooms or their sports rooms or their, you know, like their man cave or whatever.
That's the only room that men are allowed to have in the house. The women will give them. Let's just feature. Wives are like, you can do the basement, and that's it. Everything above ground is mine.
Yeah, I want you out of sight, out of mind. I want the kitchen. I want the living room. I want the normal of the house, but you can have everywhere else that's out of sight. You know.
In Australia, we don't have basements, but the man gets the shed, and usually like. You know, he'll be in the shed and the house will be really nice and girly, and you won't see any video game stuff until you walk into the shed. But then you've got that other problem, like unless you then go and line the shed, it's not going to be as clean. And it's hard to keep dust out and humidity and rain and everything. I was going to ask, because America houses have attics. Do you ever see like attic collections?
I've been to a buddy's house, and his collection is kind of like, it's not like in the attic, but it's like in the closet of like the bedroom, but it kind of reminds me of an attic because it has like that like weird like slant walls. See, like my house has an attic, but it's more of like there's like a little like square that like a person can like barely fit.
Yeah, it's like a manhole cover, and
and it's
not
kind of like
something you can walk in and out every day. I get that.
Yeah, like I've seen some houses where you can like walk up in them, like they have like that drop down ladder, but like mine doesn't have a ladder. It's just like a crawl space type of thing.
Yeah,
and
like that's more like an Australian house where you got to get a ladder to crawl up in there, and it's like the electrician goes up in there when something happens, or
or like a roofer if there's like a leak. I guess you could see something, or
Test man
I
comes
mean,
to have a look or something like that. Yeah,
I've never even
exactly.
been up there. I just took the inspector's word. He took pictures of the attic and he's like, "Yep, it's an attic." And I was like, "Cool, good to know."
Any
Thanks.
dead bodies up there? No. All right, we're good. That's
All
all I need to
right,
know. Thanks.
great. Thanks.
I could tell a story about what was in my attic when I moved in, but it's not really appropriate, so maybe I won't. But
If it's not
That
appropriate,
might
it was
be
in
like
your
a
attic. That's scary, Jay.
it was it's an interesting story.
that might
It's
be for
almost
like the
Halloween.
Halloween episode.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's nothing like that. It's oh man, how do I put this? There was a backpack that had adult themed items in it.
Okay.
Ugh.
That was what was in my attic when I moved in, and I was just like, this is clearly the backpack that was never to be found or shown to another human. Why is this here still? What the hell?
Like ready for emergencies or something. I
Someone
don't
might have
know.
passed away. and
Some people have a
left
bug out
there.
bag. Some people have this type of bag. Yep, that's right. You never know when you're gonna need it. Oh man.
Yeah, not these kind of toys.
No, that's totally different toy collection. I'm like, I don't want to derail this conversation, but that's the truth. That's what happened. Truth is stranger than fiction.
I guess you gotta check your attics. That's the moral of the story. Double check just to make sure it's all good. And if you can fit video games up there, I guess that's extra storage. If you can't, then you know you gotta find a basement. If you don't have a basement, you gotta get a shed. See, I'm learning so
Or
much.
start to build an extension on the house.
Yeah.
You guys see the Aussie YouTuber, The Last Gamer?
Mhm.
I swear he did like 10 years of extensions to fit his game collection and it's still going. He had
Yeah, I
like the
wish-
Guinness World Record at one point and yeah, absolutely insane collection.
I wish I had like more land. I have more house than like a yard. You know, it's like cookie cutter houses. It's like smaller yards, just like a deck, and then like, you know, a couple little strips to mow, but you know, you gotta
What
do what
state
you
are you in,
gotta
Brenda?
do. Huh?
What state are you in?
Oh, I'm in Maryland.
Okay. I'm studying US architecture per state at the moment, so I can imagine your house.
Yeah. And you know, we get all the seasons here. So like in one day it could snow, it could rain, it could be hot, it could be cold. And, you know,
I get
just,
that. We get all seasons here. It's like called Melbourne weather. It's crazy.
yeah, so I like it though. You know, we don't have to worry too much about like the hurricanes and stuff. We get like a lot of rain and stuff though, and my basement did flood kind of more recently. But I was very fortunate to catch it. Actually, like a crazy story. There was this video game store and they posted this weird looking Super Nintendo game like earlier in the day. And they posted this huge collection of Super Nintendo pickups. And I was like, what is that white label game? So they sent me a picture of it. And they had it listed for like $10. And I was like, what is that? And they were like, we don't know. It could be worth something or not. We don't really care. And I was like, is it still there? Because it was like 8 hours later. And they were calling for this big tornado. And I was like, forget the tornado. I have to go out and pick up this game because it could be rare. So I go driving in a tornado and I keep hearing the like emergency warning. And it's like, if you're outside, please take shelter now. Stay away from windows. Stay away from doors. Yeah, it was like doing that. And I was like, gotta go get the game. Gotta make it there before it closed. So I pull into the parking lot. They had like just like hit the time of like closing and there were people in the store. So I go in, I buy the game for like $10 and I drive all the way home. And I get home, I open it up and I'm like, this looks like a prototype of some sort. And it was like Hyper V-Ball, like the volleyball game or something. And it's from the company who made the game. And it's either a prototype or like a sample copy that they sent out for review. So I'm still doing research on it to see what the differences are. But then I go into my basement and I see all this water flooding in on the door. And I panic and I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, the whole game room's gone because of this game. So I'm like, you know, panicking. And what had happened was I didn't clean the drain outside of the door in the basement. So
Mm.
water like came in through like the little like the bottom part of the door, like from the outside, and
Mhm.
it just came in, and I have carpet. So what I ended up doing was moved all the bookshelves out of the way, pulled stuff off, dried the bottoms of the bookshelves when I was able to like have someone help me, like, you flip them over and you take everything off, and then they're all made like IKEA. It's not like real wood, so it has like this like veneer, like some plastic or coating or something on it. So
Yeah,
nothing got damaged.
It's kind of waterproof, kind of not. I get you.
Yeah. But if you like dry it fast enough, it doesn't really do any damage. There's no mold, no nothing. And then I took like a shop vac and then a shampooer, and I sucked all the, outside water out. And then I ripped like the carpet up and I put a fan under it. And then I put like a heater and a humidifier and all that. And within like 72 hours, everything was completely 100% dry. No mold, no mildew, no weird smells. Nothing was damaged. And I was super thankful because, like I had caught it in enough time. But like if this was the room, it probably got like half this whole area like wet, like all like the whole.
That's scary.
Like it was like a whole lot of water. But
when it's just the floor, it doesn't really do any damage until it's touched anything.
and
None of your items got damaged or wet or anything like that.
Yeah, because like all these shelves that they have from IKEA, they have like a 2 or so many
Yeah, like a
inches
foot
like
raise.
lifted. So like the water didn't get up that high, it just dampened or like soaked the carpet. So it's just
shot it.
something you always have to keep in mind. And that's something that like I always try to like help educate people on like how to prepare for that. Like make sure your sub pump is working, make sure you have the battery backup. Make sure you clean the drain outside of your door if you have that. You can't have leaves. There were a bunch of leaves. So when I went outside, I took a broom and I was like sweeping it and I moved all the leaves out and then the water just drained. Like it was my stupid fault. Like I should have.
If you'd done that in the first place, water mightn't have even come in. Yeah, I get
But
that.
I was thinking about games. I wasn't thinking to go check and I mean, it all worked out. I got this really cool like prototype sample copy, something of some generic video
After
game.
3 days of constant work, it was worth it. Look what I got.
Almost died, but it was worth it.
House didn't blow away. We're all good.
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of,
you got a cool story out of it. So
Yeah, and like a near-death experience all for that, but that's okay.
so
hey, one thing I wanted to bring up that's sort of like current news right now, and it's unlimited run games, and something they've been doing lately. They've been re-releasing PS4 games that already have retail releases. They did Yakuza Kiwani, and then they just announced something this week that also has a PS4 release, which is kind of weird. I'll just pull it up quickly. Which is really weird to me, and they're also selling them for their retail price, which is more than usual games and things like that.
Yeah. Now,
And then Josh commented on it, and he said, "Oh, we're only doing this because there wasn't an Xbox retail release, so we're doing the PS4 version as well."
well, I
What?
think is it a regular release or just a collector's edition or something like that? Are they doing like a regular one? And is it the same?
So the
version? Is it
Yakuza
updated
one, I
disc,
thought
or-
it was a regular, and then there's like a slipcover version, and then the slipcover has like a box, and you have to buy all 7 of them. But there is just a standard version. And then the other game was Valkyria Chronicles 4, which already has a retail release. Like,
Yeah.
you can pick it up for like $10. Why would you pay $35 for a limited run version of it? It's just weird to me. It goes against what the company started for.
Did they maybe is an updated release, like an upgraded version, more DLC, anything? There's got to be something. Like
I'll
that's
pull it
just
up.
weird.
yeah, I wonder like how many people asked for it, or
Maybe, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Speed Killer, maybe it has DLC or something. But who knows? Like you said, going with them, who knows?
Diary edition, slipcover, deluxe book, and a steel book. But I think there was
it
a
says
standard
includes
one
all
as well.
DLC on that.
Oh,
Says
okay.
it
Okay,
on the
includes
top.
the DLC.
So maybe that's it. I heard those games are great. I've actually never played them.
Yeah, they're fun. They're like top down, sort of like almost like XCOM type games.
Huh.
And they got
I've heard
cool
good
stories to them as well. And it's a really beautiful, like, cell-shaded art style.
I've been loving all of the boomer shooters that Night Dive Studios has been doing, that they've been putting out. I'm like, been getting all of them. They just released PO'd, which I don't know if you've ever seen that game. It is
Yeah, that
ridiculous.
one's the interesting one.
It's they're like all the enemies.
Is that the one with the frying pan?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
On 3DO?
It was 3D, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what I have.
Or was that Night Killer or Killing Time?
3D?
Killing Time might be the 3DO one. PO'd, I don't remember. I can't remember. Maybe that one is too. I don't remember when it originally came out. I never played that one when I was younger.
I have it on something.
It's just interesting, and I just think it's cool they're bringing back all those games and redoing them. Yeah. Obscure ones too. The one I'm waiting for is I want Blood. I want them to remake Blood. When is that one coming out, guys? Let's do that one.
Yeah, you never know. Might that one might show up.
One of the things I was going to say, because I know you obviously you're sort of into the N64, but were you excited for the analog system they announced, or did you get one? Or
I did not get one yet. I think I wanted to like learn a little bit more. I think because these past couple weeks I was a little under the weather. Still, like I just went into like a coughing bit. Probably because this is like the most that I've talked in a couple weeks. But I think like I got a little bit behind on some things. So then I heard everyone like, oh, I got to pre-order it, I got to do this. But then I didn't get a chance to like look up all the specifics of everything. And I kind of wanted to know a little bit more before I invested, that kind of whatever. Because
a lot of money, $250.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it looked like the shipping was hell too. People were posting. I saw people paying $30, $40, $50 for the shipping. Brutal.
Yeah, so I just like to know a little bit of everything. And sometimes when things have like certain releases, sometimes like the first wave or, sometimes they always come out with more and stuff. So I just always, like to weigh my options and see. But I am interested in it just to kind of, compare and see. Yeah,
so they did the black version and the white version. And I feel like if you do hold out, if you remember, they did that analog, the Pocket, the little Game Boy or whatever. How many versions?
All the colors.
Yeah, exactly. They've done all the different colors, and the N64. Like, look at it's just known for all the colors.
Yep.
So I feel like there's a lot of people who are probably holding back maybe to see if they come out with those, which I think they will. But those will probably be hard to get. I feel like these ones didn't sell out like instantaneously. The colored ones probably will. I feel like, certain ones people like, I want the jungle green. I'm going to have it or whatever. Like those ones will sell out quick. And I also
expect the numbers to be a lot less because, they're going to put more of the first one out and way less of the colors. It makes sense.
And you know what? I bet there are people out there that collect all of the analog colors.
I know, they probably will.
Just the regular. Mort, from Mort's Garage, he talks about this too. It's like if you're really into collecting for something and you get everything you want, what do you do next? And then like when you have an opportunity like this, it'd be like if they announced the same thing and they were like, we're coming out with a PlayStation 2 version of this, and is a blue one, a red one, a green, I'd be like, oh shit.
But you can't just buy one. You're a collector. You have to buy all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would be like, gotta have them all. I would have all the colors. There's no way. So,
and that's the problem too, like because they aren't cheap. So, like, if you do try and collect all of them,
with a controller, it's $250, and they don't even no controller.
Fucking hell! So that's like eBay prices of the regular ones for 20 years. They just made this inflation.
If only I had more money. Like I just think that all the time. I'm like, why can't I just be rich and have millions of dollars? Then I could buy everything.
So I thought about this. If I had been rich growing up, I would be dead. I would be not alive. I would have just been reckless beyond all. So it's a good thing. I might be able to handle it now, but I'm glad I
could definitely handle it now.
Now,
but when you're like a kid, people do all kinds of
I was an
stupid
idiot.
things.
I was just a dumb person. Like I literally, I always say to myself, if I met myself 20 years ago, I would hate that dude. I would be like, you suck. What is the matter with you, dude? You know what I mean?
I think another thing you got to think about is we appreciate our stuff more because of how we got it, and how hard you had to work to get certain items in the collection. If you just had all the money in the world and bought everything brand new, you probably wouldn't care about it as much as we care about our collections.
Yeah, probably. I think when you work hard for something, you can appreciate it more, like your hard-earned money, or I had to work this amount of overtime, or I had to save or set aside this amount of money. Like when I go to video game conventions, like there's one more coming up this year, and it's in Ohio. So I'm getting ready to go to that. It's next weekend. So it's like, I've been setting aside some money, and you want to save up a little bit extra, and you kind of want to prepare for all that, because when you go to these things, you're going to spend some money. So it's like when you go there, you don't want to just buy everything eBay price either. You want to work deals, you want to do, some haggling or find the best deal at the whole thing. And I recently picked up a new hobby. Perler beads, like the
Parlor
little
beads?
perler. They're like little plastic beads.
Okay.
I'll try and show a picture.
Can't say
So
I'm
like they
I'm
had
a
them
bead
back
expert.
when we were like kids. They would have them. You pretty much, so like perler beads. They're
Okay.
like little
Oh yeah,
tiny,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you melt them. They're like melty beads.
Mm-hmm.
Like I picked up this hobby, and that's like Luigi's Mansion one. I made that. I was like, it was last night, and then today I made this one.
Well, let's go.
Nice.
So like, because like the new Toxic Crusaders
Toxic
game that'll eventually be
Crusaders.
coming out, and all that, and then I had like the little figure like next to it, and like you can find like the little designs and stuff online, and then I just like modify them a little bit, like if I think it looks better with this color versus that or whatever. Like I just, and they do take a little bit of time, but at Pittsburgh, I made a bunch of these in my spare time, and I set them up at my little table, and I sold like a few $100s worth, and I had them priced at like
Wow.
$5, $3, $5, $8. Like I kept them real cheap for like kids and stuff. And if they came over and they were like, I only have $5, I'm like, cool, I don't care. Like, here you go.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
it's just like, and you get a couple $100s, and then you could buy like a big expensive game, and all it cost was a couple dollars in these like little beads, because you buy them by like the thousands, and they're like $1 or $2, or you get them at a thrift store. And yeah, it takes like a lot of time. Like I spent probably like an hour doing like the Toxic Crusader, or like, a half hour doing like the Luigi's Mansion or whatever. But it's just like, I'm just sitting there watching YouTube, just doing little beads.
Time isn't wasted when it's a hobby and you're having fun. Like if
Yeah.
you were sitting there and telling us, I had to work for hours to do this and I only made a couple of dollars, that's where it's like, it's not worth it. But you're having fun. You don't care how long it takes.
Yeah,
It's just
like I don't really care. So like I have all these ones made, like Pikachu and like Gengar and like all these Mario and little Pikmin sets and Kirby and like just all these. So at the convention that I go to next weekend, I'm hoping that a bunch will sell, and then I can buy like, because I'm also going for the full Super Nintendo set, and I need like 150 more, and I need like Aero Fighters, and that's like what, like $1,500 or something.
Yeah.
I remember John Hancock going for that game like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ouch.
and I have like Earthbound in the big box already. I got that,
Do you
for like a few $100s back in the day, like when I first started collecting. So like I have some heavy hitters, but then like the next big one is Pocky and Rocky 2, and that's like around $400. And then I have like a bunch of $100 to $200 ones, and then I got a bunch of cheap ones. So like if these like little beads, if I could just sell or
turn that
trade
into a game or two.
to get like Pocky and
One of the
Rocky
$100
2
ones. Yeah.
or something, like I'm all for that. What's like several hours of my life, but like less money to get, type of. So like I'm hoping at this next convention, Torg, it's in Ohio. I'm hoping it's because it's really big. They expanded this year. A lot of my friends and stuff are going to be there. A lot of vendors. I think they have like over 400 tables, and they're
Which
all
one
like
is this
video
called?
game related. What?
You said it's in Ohio. What's the name of the convention?
Torg.
Torg. Okay.
Torg. The
Yeah, I've seen a
Ohio
few
Retro
people.
Gamer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a
So
few people post they were going to that.
yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. And you know, obviously I'm looking for displays, kiosks, signage, stuff like that. But if I don't get lucky and find stuff pretty cheap, like on the cheaper end, then you know, like the full set. So like GameCube, Super Nintendo, the 23 N64 games, and I'm also going for NES now because I'm crazy. So
It's one of
I
those
just
like, oh, I'm collecting it anyway. There's only 600 in the set. May as well do them all.
yeah, and that one I do need a lot of heavy hitters. Like I got a lot of like $100 and some games, but I need Little Samson and a bunch.
There's a
of
lot of expensive games
Yeah.
out there. I'm currently
So-
helping a couple of friends both collect complete PAL SNES sets, and I'm in Australia, so they're sending me games, and every day I'm getting like, oh, never seen this before. It's complete in box SNES game. That's really cool. But yeah, it's like I'm glad I'm not doing it, but it's cool to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, it's fun, but you know, you really do have to like work to find the deals because like I don't want to always pay, you know, eBay prices or like just crazy amounts because it's like
That's not fun. That's
yeah,
not what
it's
that's
hard.
not
You
what
know,
collecting is fun. I've said that a million times on the show. Like it's like most people can complete their sets right now. They could
Mhm.
complete their collections right now. They go on eBay and pull out a credit card and buy it and ship it to their house. But nobody
Yeah.
really wants to do that. That's not the fun of it. The fun of it is seeing that last game you need in the wild, trying to get a good deal, selling those bead things or whatever to get them. You know what I mean? Like making that experience is the fun. And like I tried to people like it's you guys watch Gaming Off the Grid at all? You know those guys?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I watch them constantly, and they're always they made a really poignant like video the other day about like why they like to collect physical games, and
Mhm.
like people are like, you just emulate it. Why not? You know, what's the point of doing this? And I'm like, I think people understand collecting is fun in and of itself. Like it is fun to do. Like I don't understand why this is hard to understand. You know, it's
Yeah.
its own excitement. It's its own adrenaline rush. It's not just shopping. It's hunting. It's
Yeah,
different.
So I want to
people
add a
call it
little
the
rebuttal
thrill of
there
the hunt.
about eBay.
Mhm.
I want to add that you can still game hunt on eBay.
Sure.
But you have to kind of go into the intentions that you'll buy not just that one particular item, because if you're after one particular item, you look it up, there's what, 4 prices. But what I like to do once a week is sort video games by auctions.
Yep.
Sort by like what's ending near us and be like, oh, let me watch these 10 because I want all of them. And at the moment, they're all cheaper than what they go for and what I'm willing to pay. So occasionally, like I'll just win a game way cheaper than what it's worth because I looked it up, or maybe they put a spelling error in it. That's
Yep.
I love getting like a
right.
PS2 game where they've marked it as PS3 or something, and
Or
no
just
one
the wrong
searched it.
game. You ever had that
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah.
I got like what was it like? Oh, God, I can't remember. Some RPG on the PS2, and it was like the dude just called it the game that was worth 20, but it's the other version that's worth 60. I was like, hell yeah, insta buy. Thank you. I know what that picture is.
Yesterday, I
I
won an auction for one of the last Pokemon games I need, and
Nice.
like I'm going for them all. I could have just went on there and bought it, but I went. I think all the eBay prices are more than what it's worth. Let me just wait. One popped up for $20 starting bid. I'm the only bidder, and boom, I've got it for like $50 cheaper than every other copy on eBay, and it's in better condition.
So
the only thing is, I bought it 2 days ago, and he still hasn't posted it yet, so I'm a little bit worried.
you are 100% right. There is like can be excitement in eBay buying, and I like when I do something similar to you. I have like a list of tons of games that I'm constantly getting notifications for, and like I get this giant email spam every morning, and I go through it. I go, let's check to see if Predator Hunting Grounds I can get this cheap today, and
Mhm.
and like every once in a while, if you're lucky, right place, right time, like you said, you'll
Yep.
see that game, someone just put it up for way cheaper, and you can insta buy it. Like I got like my PS4 Crystar that way. It was just like randomly up there for $20 buyout one day. I'm like, insta buy. It was like $100 back then. So yeah, you can get lucky and it can be exciting. So it's
Or even
have
I
to
had an
be,
instance
like,
happen.
so
Joe, you would remember I picked up the Persona 3 and 5 All-Star Dancing slipcover like a month ago, and I've been after it for years. And I paid up for it. Like I paid $100 for it, and then that's what it goes for on eBay. And I was browsing eBay the other day, searching PS4 games by new listed, and there was one for $40 in better condition than mine.
Oh, no.
So I bought that, and now I've listed my copy for more than what I paid for it, and that'll make it free. Or it's like, sweet, I actually got it for the cheap price. But you have to be on there looking. It's like all things. You're only going to get the good deals at the garage sales if you're waking up early, going out there. You've got to be on eBay all the time looking for deals. You've got to be on Facebook Marketplace looking for deals. You've got to go to the op shops and look for them.
Yeah, because people always ask me, they're like, you must be rich or a millionaire. No, I wish. Like, and then they're like, oh, you must have had all this from your childhood. No, I wish.
No, whose parents are this cool? You crazy? Whose parents bought them all these fucking toys? You're out of your mind.
Every Christmas, it was just like, here's 400 toys.
Yeah, it's all
no, it would never be like that. But it's like,
Mhm.
I tell people, like, you have to put in the work, like the time and the effort. So, like, when I wake up in the middle of the night, you always wake up in the middle of your sleep and you got to use the bathroom or whatever. It's like you're like half awake, but I'm on Facebook Marketplace. And I might see something at 3 a.m. that was like just listed, and I'll message the person and be like, hey, I absolutely want this. I can come to you tomorrow. What's the earliest time I could come pick it up? Or, something like that. And then they'll be like, all right, it's yours on market pending or whatever. And it's like, you always have to be searching because you never know. And same with like eBay, like the last 36 seconds of those auctions are like the most like hard, like you're like all stressed out because like that's when like people start bidding. And like if you
I
have
put my bid in at 6 seconds. That's my time to
you're
put the
probably
bid
one
in.
of them people that I like.
Overpriced, and I'm like, I'll go for it. If I lose, I don't care. If I win it, that's great.
Yeah, and like that stuff happens. It's like people are like, game collecting is dead. It's hard. It's too expensive. There's still deals out there. There's millions of people in this world. They made millions of copies of a lot of these things. There's like so much stuff out there just because it's rare or whatever. Don't think that there aren't things like that out there. Like they could be in the middle of a tornado and a store could post a prototype and like, it could sit up all day for like 9 hours and not one person buy it. And then you message them and they go, oh, I'll hold that for you. It's yours. We don't know. We don't care. It's $10. And then you use a $5 off.
By the way, I've also got this other stuff. Do you want to see a photo of it? And that's the good stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, it's really like right place, right time, a little bit of luck, hard work, time. It's like, and then you learn stuff as you go. Like, you're not going to go to the yard sale that they posted on Facebook Marketplace. Like, we got video games and they're like a reseller and like all these people are messaging them. Like you're going to like drive around and just find like something and show up. Like
I'll actively avoid those ones because I don't want to compete with people who are like actively going for it. I want to stumble across the garage sale where they don't actually advertise video games and then buy them that way.
You want to do it like you said, Figsy, is like you buy a DVD and ask them, are you selling games? And they go, actually, I think Billy had some games in the house. Let's go see. And like this is the story where his mom sells Billy's games without Billy knowing. But that's
or the kid at the garage sale going, oh, you got money? And I'm like, yeah, I'm buying games. I'm paying cash. You pull money out and people get excited. They run inside and grab, you want this stuff? It's like, yeah, sweet. Here's your money. Money talks too. If you're like showing money to people's faces, like most people just sit on their video games like they sit on their books or DVDs and they just have it in their house for 10, 20 years and they don't have an attachment to it. And, when people are having a garage sale, the idea is we're cleaning stuff out, we're getting money. So, if you're into something, it's perfect. It's like a win-win.
And I remember like, I think you made a video about resellers. This is why like I don't have like this passionate hatred of resellers because Like those are the guys that are putting in a lot of the effort a lot of the time to go find this stuff. And they kind of deserve the profit for their time and energy, don't you think? Like I didn't wake up and go around and get all these games. I'm not garage sailing 7 days a week or whatever. I got shit to do. So sometimes it's, you pay a little bit more to get what you want. And I've always said, like, instead of like hating these people, like, why don't you just be nice to them and like be friends with them? Maybe they'll give you a discount instead of being a jerk. Like, that's my whole theory. I'm just like, why would you give these people a hard time? I would just be like, hey, man, I buy games all the time. If you want to sell, you got deals, I'll buy more, just let me know. You come across rare stuff, make me the first call, like that sort of stuff. Like,
It's about building relationships with some people. Like sometimes resellers like that, you got to lose a little bit in the first deal to make that relationship because, they're only looking to make
you pay full
profit
price for the
and
first
like
thing. And then like you exactly fix it. You just, whatever they ask for, you just pay for it and make the pleasant experience for them. So they're like, oh, this guy's not wasting my time. He's an actual
and then you might
buyer.
get the first message next time and it might be a little bit cheaper. And
yeah. Especially when they have bulks of shit they don't care about. Because a lot of the times these guys will be like, they're collectors. They're like me or you. They'll be like, well, I really love Nintendo, but I don't like PlayStation stuff. So I'll just call you anytime I get any of this stuff, and I'll, no emotional attachment. It's all yours. You know what I mean? That's prime. Like a lot of my collection, I've told this before. Like it was sort of like a trade I did with this other collector who was like more Nintendo. He was like, I'm really into Nintendo stuff. So I sold him a bunch of Wii U stuff, like some DS games, 3DS stuff I had. And he gave me a bunch of PlayStation stuff. And we're both probably happy and sad about that at this point because everything I gave him is quadrupled in value and everything he gave me is quadrupled in value. So we're both like,
you can't be sad. You got cool stuff in your collection. He got cool stuff. That's
you
a
both
win-win.
were happy at the time and it all worked out. And
yeah, I am very happy with it. Like I love my PlayStation stuff. It's where my heart is, I suppose I'll say. Which I meant to ask you. I don't want to completely skip over every. We only have 2 topics I put in the title, so I just want to at least mention it. Do you collect Sega at all, or is you just Nintendo all the way? Like pretty much. Do you do any Genesis or Master System or any passion for that stuff?
Yeah, I have every console pretty much. Like I think it's like over 300 different consoles that I have, and handhelds, and that includes variants. So like I do collect all that. It's just right now. Like Sega Saturn, there's a few games that I want because I'm doing like the subsets within the full set. I need one more light gun game and I need House of the Dead, but it's like $400 or so. So I'm kind of like waiting to find that like a little like I'm trying to find it like half off type range. Like then I'll, jump on that. But actually a crazy story with Sega. So a buddy of mine, he created like this new app or this new thing. It's called insertbid.com. And pretty much it's like they've been collecting all these rare kiosks and displays and signage. And now it's kind of like an auction type service of like people who can like bid on that type stuff. So you get a chance at like that. And they just announced it recently. And they didn't have that many followers on like Instagram and Facebook. So they decided that they were going to give away a Sega Saturn kiosk to someone who entered, and not many people at all entered in and commented. Like it was like me and maybe like a couple other people. And they told me that I won the kiosk. So I have a Sega Saturn kiosk that at some point will show up to my house because I filled out their little, I filled out their giveaway, and like I couldn't afford a Sega Saturn kiosk in today's time. They go for like over $5,000.
I don't remember. I don't even know if I ever saw one in the store when I was like Sega Saturn was like here and gone so fast. I feel like,
and like now I feel like the second I get that, I'm going to want to, collect a little bit more Sega Saturn probably. And I mean, I have 2 Dreamcast kiosks. So like I have to
only 2?
Yeah. I have 2. I know.
Come on. There's a rookie number. I got like 4 in the other.
Gotta pump those numbers up.
I know, right?
Only to play Power Stone. Everyone has to have their own kiosk.
So now, now that I'm gonna get the Sega Saturn kiosk, I'm like, I want them all near each other. Now I gotta go for like those sets. Like it just makes sense. So like I like to share the love between all the systems. It's just somehow I just kind of went on like a little Nintendo collecting spree. But I'm sure when I cross off like the N64, because I'm only 23 games away, and when I cross off the Super Nintendo, there's 150, but like when I get closer to like 50 left or something, like I might switch over to something for a little while and then come back. Like I'm not too sure, because I remember playing like the Genesis, the Saturn, a Dreamcast. Like I remember playing things growing up, and I always wanted more, but I think my family always had more Nintendo, like just physically owned it. But then like my cousins had Sega stuff, so like I always wanted that stuff. But it's like a balance. Like I don't know. I try to go back and forth.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot or anything. The only reason I mentioned it is because they have the this new FPGA console supposedly coming out called the SuperSega. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I mentioned it before briefly on the show, where I think it's like in Brazil. There's these guys trying to make a all-in-one Sega console that plays Master System, Genesis, Sega CD, Saturn, and Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to do that.
All in one. I don't think Game Gear, but I'm pretty sure it was just the systems I mentioned. And it's an interesting concept. But the guys that are making it released like a video either today or yesterday or something, kind of going over what they have done so far. And then they opened up this thing where you can like give them $5 to reserve the ability to buy one if it ever gets made, which is always a promising thing. That's what you want to hear. You give me $5 and then we'll let you buy it if we ever make it. I'm like, I mean, damn, I could do that right now. Everybody, I have
give me $10 if I make it. I'll guarantee you.
I'm going to make a console that plays PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, PSP, Virtual Boy, and Pico 8. And Pico 8. It's going to play all of that. And it's going to work on your shoes. It's going to be a pair of shoes. So just give me $10, everybody. And then if I ever make it, you'll be the first person who's allowed to buy it for $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes out, I'd be interested, to know about it, because I always want to know, what's going on. But apparently there's like a new handheld too. Is it Mod or something? It's like a Game Boy, and they're making new Game Boy games for it.
Oh.
It's like a new thing. Someone just shared it in the group, and I meant to I'm in like all these group chats. But
I know that feeling.
I'm trying to see. But apparently like you could pre-order it, and it's like they're gonna make like actual new Game Boy Color games.
That's cool.
Let's go. They are doing that already, which is cool.
I think that's not that we've already seen that with a lot of consoles, people making older games, but I think we're going to see a bigger uptick of that than ever, especially like as the mainstream video game industry moves away from producing physical media.
Yeah.
It's just gonna open up a whole new market for people to make PS4 games again and PS1 games again and stuff like that. I really do. I think you'll start seeing new NES games more often, new Genesis. Like you already do. Like, I'm not saying this.
We're going to run into a point where it'd be more expensive to develop for these newer systems than to make older systems. Apart from the PS3, like these old systems aren't going to be, that much harder to develop for, which is great. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of it.
It's called Mod Retro.
This is like, that super fancy.
They have it again.
They have some godlike screen on it or something like that.
But they have different colors too. Like that's green. It's hard to see, but they have like orange, green, pink, yellow, blue, and black. I think they also have like a gray one too. But it says compatible with the classics, play anytime, anywhere, magnesium alloy shell. And then they have it comes with a Tetris cartridge, but then apparently they're gonna be like making games or something.
That's cool.
For it, and they're supposed to like, here it says games. New game announced every month. So they have like all these games
That's cool.
that you can like buy for it, and it's like physical media, and like some of them like look good, like this Project S11. It's like a shoot 'em up type thing, and then they got like there's all these games already on here, like a whole bundle, and then you get like a bundle discount of like
Oh, it's
6.
cool that it comes preloaded because there's no reason for it not to, right?
Yeah, so it's I don't know. It's like kind of neat that there's like companies like that that are gonna make better quality stuff. You could play classics on it. You can, it kind of keeps retro alive, but then they're like bringing new games too, and then it's like, you're not just kind of like stuck into whatever. So
What
I
it
feel
does
like
as
it's
well, it gives younger people a chance to get into retro. Because if you were, say, 18 today and you're like, I want to collect N64, it's not going to happen. I want to collect NES. It's not going to happen unless you fork out the big bucks. And it's just, how can you convince someone that age to go back and buy stuff that was made before they were born? It's
that they don't
a much harder sell than, hey, there's a new console you can try out, games pre-built from this era. It's cheap. And then they're putting out new games. Like, sweet. They might get new people into it, which is awesome.
And going from like the original Game Boy with like the green, looking at that screen and the street lights when you're in the car, to like now they have like advanced batteries, advanced charging, the screen's backlit. They have different options. There's different, like the way that they make everything now. It's just like, if only we had that back then.
Do you remember the little light attachment that you could get?
The little like worm light looking thing.
Yeah. I remember that. And then driving in the car, Dad would make me turn it off because it would be distracting.
Yeah.
That's the only time you would ever use it. So
what you're saying is it's the year 2024 and the Game Boy is getting more new games than the PS5 is. What you're trying to tell me.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
We're getting all remasters and remakes, but the Game Boy's getting a whole new line of cutting edge stuff. That makes sense. I don't know.
Wait, we're getting a PS5 physical game that's exciting. We're getting Black Myth Wukong physical. Let's go.
There's a couple of decent announcements for physicals, so that's the most exciting one for sure. Black Myth Wukong.
I literally went on my PSN store and looked at that price twice and went, nah, I'll wait for a physical. I really want to play it. Oh wait, it's finally coming. I went and pre-ordered it. I don't pre-order games. I pre-ordered a physical copy.
Nice. I just looked that one up too. It does look really good.
It's
the reviews look amazing. And
I don't know too much, but I did look up a little bit on it.
So you're like a monkey and you beat monsters real good. I mean, that's all you need to know.
It's a Souls
like this whole culture, and it follows this whole like.
You're a monkey.
I play every Souls-like game, so
that's all you gotta know. I don't need to know that.
We also got the Alan Wake 2 physical drop this week. It's cool to see people posting in their collections.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like physical's a thing again, which is cool.
And I like this trend. I know it may sound counterintuitive, but I prefer this like idea of releasing the physical game, letting them get all their day one sales, let all those people play test it, fix all the bugs, release all the DLC, get it all tightened up into a nice complete package that works correctly, and then releasing the physical a year later. I'm good with that. I wait a year. I really will. I'm very
even
patient.
longer.
I have a backlog that never ends. I'm in no rush to play anything. I'm really not. So I like that's sort of what's going on, and I hope that is the future. I hope that companies will start doing that so that they, the digital market they get what they want. They're not held back by the physical waiting for that to come out or anything. They don't have to wait 3 years for the game to be perfect. They can get their game, I just think that's smart.
I got a little bit of news this week, Joe, sort of relating on the same thing. So Baldur's Gate 3 is sold out in Australia, right? Our copy sold out months ago, and they're like, it's selling for $500 on eBay. And I really want one. Anyway, I noticed this week, because I've been researching it, that one of the retailers has put up a placeholder for a December 28, 2024 release of a standard version. It's possible it's coming to retail stores. I also emailed Larian Studios this week and told them that I don't want to pay $500 for their game. I really want an Australian copy. And they confirmed that they are getting a restock soon. So Don't buy them on
Right.
eBay. Just wait.
Nice.
They will be getting restocked.
That's
It's
I feel
nice
like
to have
that's how it
actual
always is.
confirmation.
People rush to buy stuff online, and then at some point things always go down, and that's, like when all like the PS5s and stuff, it's like people spend all that money just to get things super early. But if you just wait and you're a little patient, you don't have to spend the eBay prices.
With most things, not the 30th anniversary. Goodbye. Never getting that one.
Another pretty exciting one, if you're for Switch collectors, I would say, or not exciting, depending on how you look at it, is that VGP's reprinting Trine 1 through 4.
Okay.
And I guess this is going to be like the best version so far because it will have 1 through 4 on the cart, where I guess in the previous ones, some of them were download codes, or I think only 1 through 3 was available.
Yeah, 1v3 and then 4 was the second release. I've got both of them. I'm like, I've already got them. Won't have to.
Now they have
that would be cool having them all on one.
Ultimate Collection. So 1 through 4 is on the cart, but then 5 is still a standalone release. So you'd still have 5, but that's still neat because I guess I wasn't after anything, but I guess the 1 through 3 was going like $250. Supposed to be really, it was supposed to be. I guess it was really expensive. So if that's something.
The game I put in that rare and collectible PS4 series like 4 years ago.
Yeah, the PS4 releases are confusing too. There's like a 1 through 4 with some with DLC. Well, I don't even know. It's kind of confusing too.
The PS4 releases these days, like we were talking to Reggie the other day about Suikoden 1 and 2. Like there's a placeholder for a copy in Europe of a PS4 version. Like I pre-ordered the Australian one and I got my money back and told it was cancelled. And like you look at Europe, some of the listings say they're cancelled, some of them say they're not. So it's like, is this game even coming out on PS4? And if it is, it'll probably be the expensive version because there's not going to be many of them.
Yeah, I went through that fiasco with the Evil Dead Halloween game where
that's it.
Like I had pre-ordered the collector's edition, and then 2 days before they were like, "We're not doing a PS4 version. Do you want a PS5 copy?" And I was like, "No, I don't," because I bought the $110 collector's edition because I collect PS4 games. That's sort of my thing, and I'm like, I don't mind having the PS5 version, but I don't want the $110 one. I'll go buy the regular retail one for $40 when it's on sale or something. Like I just didn't want that, so I canceled the order, and then I ordered the regular PS4 one, but they just like keep kind of like pushing back the date, and it's not for like some places you can't even buy it, but some places
Amazon says like unable to order at the moment. Yeah, I checked that out.
But like you can Target and Best Buy, it just says pre-order it, go ahead. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're just I don't know, but it's like up in the air.
Taking their money.
But yeah, that's sad. It makes sense that we've reached this point. I mean, the PS4 can't last forever. It's got to stop at some point. Like
it's almost like they take the pre-orders, and then if they don't get to 1,000 units, maybe they just don't make a PS4 copy because it's under the minimum units required.
That's crazy. You could sell 750 and then sell the next 250 over the next year or two, guy. Like you guys, I understand what you're saying, but like have some
I
faith
can't think
in
of
your
anything else
product.
logical, right? Like. If they sold 1,000 pre-orders, they're printing the game because then they can do that. But if they only sold 500, maybe they're not doing it.
I think you're right. I think it's like if they only sold like half or something. That's probably like a quota or something. But and I'm
worried that Core Keeper won't get a PS4 version. It gets released in 3 days. They haven't refunded me yet.
I know it's so disappointing when you get refunded on something. Like you order something and they either can't fulfill it. Like when the whole situation happened with Concord, when a lot of collectors just want it just to have it because they don't want to pay all this money on eBay later or whatever. I put it in my cart. It was like $30 or something online. And everyone else's order got canceled. And I was like, mine's going to be coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, like 2 or 3 days after it should have showed up. Like it said tracking, shipped, blah, like all this. And then 3 days after, it said, no, it's canceled, refund. And I was like, well, why'd they put shipping? And why'd they put, like, I was like following it. It was like still at Walmart. Like I was following the tracking. Like it gave me like that false hope. And, I was just
The
like,
worst part
"Ow."
is those copies actually existed. So they went, do we send it to the customer or throw it in the bin? Let's throw it in the
Yeah.
bin.
And I was like, I wanted just to, just to have it as a part of history of this happened at this time, type of thing. And then a bunch of my buddies got it, and then they were marking it up like 3 times the price. And I was like, I'll wait. One day I'll
Yeah.
find it somewhere.
Hear about the Ukrainian copy?
Yeah,
But
I
they
heard
never
something
made
about
it
that.
to Ukraine stores, but apparently like 50 copies got into the market and
Oh,
are
geez.
out there. So it's the real rarest version.
Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that now.
There's exclusive Ukrainian language on the front and a different back cover and stuff.
Huh.
Speaking of exclusive things, I did want to pass on a little information I got from a little birdie named Jason, who knows everything about the PS4. He's the man. So I just, if you are into PS4 collecting, I guess Epic Mickey Rebrushed, the new game that's coming out, the Mickey game or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, the only PS4 copy available is in Germany, and it has English. So it's getting released, but like only in Germany. And it's like one of those things where like you have to order it off of Amazon Germany and pay like a mad money to get it. Like it's expensive, but
And it's got 2 ugly rating stickers on the front.
yes, it does. It has the big ass USK and the giant PAL logo right next to it. And yeah, so anyway, it's if you just want to play Epic Mickey, that's not the way to go. But if you're really into PS4 collecting and you want to have something that will potentially be fucking like impossible to find in the future, that's going to be one of those ones where like it's just
Well, we know for a fact this is a thing because if you go through the PS1, 2, 3, 4, or any system, Nintendo, you name it, most or a lot of the expensive, the rare games are late release titles for the reason that it got released on this system, so there's only a few on this system. Like I get example Persona 5 on PS3. How cheap is a PS4 copy? You want a PS3 UK English copy? You're forking up a lot of money for it. For any of the late release FIFA games, like it's not a surprise that they're not going to sell many, but they're going to be expensive down the line because there's going to be more collectors that want them than people that bought them day one.
Yeah, it's amazing how this stuff happens. But yeah, these late releases are good to keep track of. I think he said the other one. No, never mind. He said that the Harry Potter Quidditch game that's coming out is a PAL exclusive. But that's not quite as rare.
Which should have been DLC for Hogwarts Legacy.
But well, it's like I don't know. I actually have no idea what the cover of the game looks like.
That was the original plan. It was going to be DLC, and then they decided to make it a standalone game.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Milking it for every dime. I mean, I get it. That's a franchise. I would do it too.
That's how.
You guys want to get into some game pickups?
Sure. Yeah, I got some stuff to show off. Who'd like to go first? Let me go first. Actually, I don't have a lot of stuff, so I feel like I'm going to be the most disappointing. So let me go first. All right. So I had to buy this. If you know me, I mean, it's not surprised, but I'm really impressed with it. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I couldn't be happier with the new Super Mario Party Jamboree. This game is so fun. I am loving it. It's like a real return to form for Mario Party, in my opinion.
That's what I heard about it. And like there's like so many different like mini game. There's like 7 or 9 worlds or something. Like there's like a lot of different like boards or whatever.
I haven't unlocked them all yet, so I'm not sure, but I think
I heard there's like a bunch, and then they have some favorites or something. They come back from some of like the older stuff.
Yeah, they have mini games from older games.
Yeah,
randomly will show up, and I'm like, yeah, but it's like really cherry picked good ones. You're like, it's not like bad. You're like, oh, this game's awesome. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The items are fun, the maps are fun. The reason that it makes it a jamboree or whatever is that like randomly throughout the game, a friend will show up on the map.
Oh yeah,
and you can like get the friend. And all I'll say though is that is overpowered as F, because if you have the friend, it like lets you do everything twice. So if you pass the stars, you can buy 2 stars. If you pass the item shop, you can buy 2 items.
Oh god.
If you pass Boo, you can steal twice. So I played a game earlier today where I had the partner and I got like a double roll and I got 2 stars, 2 items, and stole 2 stars in one turn. One turn, I had 4 stars I got from.
If I was playing with you, that would be the last turn of the game.
Yeah, this is why most people don't play with me. To be honest with you, they like every Mario Party. Always the new one comes out, everyone's excited. After like 4 times playing it, no one wants to play it ever again.
Yeah, I gotta pick it up, especially with like the holidays coming up. It's when people will come over and I turn all the lights and all the everything's on, and I'll like put whatever game everyone wants, in there. And it's always crazy because like normal people that don't collect, they want like the most basic video game. Like they don't want the rare ones, the whatever. Like they just want to play like the fun ones.
They want to play Power Blade 2. They want to play Mario Kart. Mario Kart.
Yeah. So I like picking up games like that around the holidays. So definitely have to pick that one up.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I'll just wait until the first time I see it that's under retail, and then I'll grab it. That's basically what I'm doing for all the first party Nintendo games. It's $5 cheaper, sweet, because it doesn't get cheaper.
Yeah, not much.
So this game I've been eyeballing for a while, and I've wanted it for a while, and I just got it before it sold out because I don't know. I don't think it'll be expensive, but you never know. I got Pacific Drive.
Yeah, that one looks cool.
Really interesting game. It's like it's sort of like a survival game, Pigsy. It's kind of like you just go out and gathering materials and upgrading your car and stuff like that. And you drive around in like this tricked out station wagon. And it's like a very atmospheric game, kind of like an artsy game. If you have like a really nice OLED TV, like a beautiful monitor or something, this game just looks gorgeous. So it's very immersive type of game. It's like it's not an action game. It's not like fighting monsters, nothing like that. It's more like the environments kill you. You just have to like survive, and like stuff like will come by and like kill you if you're not paying attention. And it's cool. Yeah, it looks like a really fun game. It's unique.
Yeah,
so
different. I like that.
Yeah, and it plays good on the PS5. So. All right, so this is a game I actually pre-ordered, and I paid full price for, which let me tell you, this does not happen often. It really doesn't. The last time it happened, I was Final Fantasy Rebirth. When was that? When did that come up? February? Something like that. I think that was the last time I bought a game at full price. But I couldn't help myself. Gotta get it. Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude. This game looks freaking
I've heard really good things about it already.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it this weekend. Like literally, I'm gonna like wake up Saturday morning at 6 a.m. and I'm just gonna put this on and play it all freaking day. Like that's my plan until someone makes me go rake leaves, which will probably happen. But dude, it looks amazing. The combat looks super fun. It's got 180 characters.
Wow,
that is wild.
Yeah, it's supposed to be just absolutely insane. If you're into Dragon Ball Z, this is just supposed to have everything. So nice they see a game come out and get praised by the fans of the series.
Yeah, the fans, not just...
Wow.
That's
good.
Exactly. It's like, you made the fan base of your thing happy? How the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, like you did it right and you didn't steer in a whole different direction in the wrong way, or
like everybody likes it. No,
I've heard for the last 10 years all the Dragon Ball Z fans want is a new Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's something like that.
This is pretty much what it's. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's all they had to do.
Well, it's amazing. Sometimes if you just give people what they want and what they've proven that they already like, they'll continue to like it. It's insane.
Isn't that wild?
It's amazing. And then this is actually my favorite pickup of the week. It's not a game, but it's for Halloween, and it's the Hellraiser Quartet of Torment in 4K.
Oh, I love the Arrow collection. Nice.
So yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but like it's got like holes in it, so you can see
nice.
inside
cool.
him. So those are like 3D. You see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really neat. And why the reason I was so excited for this is because they had done a version of just like this. It only had the first 3 movies, and I had no idea it even existed. And by the time it did, it was already sold out of print. It was selling for like 150, 60 bucks. I was like, crap. And I don't know if I want that bad. I really like Hellraiser, but I don't want to pay that much for 3 movies. That's just absolutely insane. And so then they announced this, and it's the first 4 movies. And I actually really like the 4th movie. I know a lot of people don't. They think it's terrible. But I think 1 and 2 are amazing. I think 3 is okay. It's fine. And then I think 4 is really good. I like 4. It's got its flaws, obviously, but it's good. So anyway, I was wicked excited because this is the only 4 movies I want. There's a bunch of ones they made after this, and I want nothing to do with them. They're all garbage. 1 through 4.
They need their audience.
These are the only ones that are actually worth watching, and here they are. And I have them in this really cool set. And this thing weighs like a ton, dude. Like I don't know. This looks like a steelbook. Right there.
Nice.
And it weighs like 400 pounds. So
Maybe like a physical book as well or something.
400 pounds. As he's just,
yeah.
curling.
It weighs 400 pounds. So I can pick it up with 1 hand.
Wait. No, this is 500 pounds. Now I think about it. So yeah, that's those are my pickups. And I got it right for Halloween. That's what I'm gonna do on Halloween night. I'm gonna watch Hellraiser 1 through 1.5 because I'll fall asleep. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Nice. My first lot of games, one of my buddies, Mikey, sent me a message this week and said he's selling his collection. So he sort of gave me like first dibs at it, and it was eBay prices, but he said if you buy a bunch, I'll knock off like 10-15%. So I'm like, sweet.
Right.
I'm getting stuff on my list and blah, blah, blah. I know they're all in like perfect condition. So we got Metroid Prime Corruption.
Nice.
I started collecting Wii like 2 or 3 years ago, Wii U, and it was always, if I see it cheap, I'll pick something up, add it to the collection, first party titles, and that's sort of all I'm really doing with the Wii and Wii U. So it's cool to get Metroids and things like that. These next 2 are exactly the same. So we've got Super Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was like $10 cheaper than what it usually goes for on eBay, so I'm happy with that.
Nice.
And this one's very, very similar, but for the Wii U. We got new Super Mario Brothers U. I think I'm
I
only
like those
missing the
games.
Luigi one now. Sorry, Joe.
I said people hate on those games, but I like those games.
I like them too. I had fun on the Wii U versions.
Yeah, there's a so there's 3 versions of that. There's the Super Mario Brothers U, the Luigi, and then there's the combo pack, which has both of them.
And then we got some PS2 titles as well. These ones are a little bit more expensive and games that I've been after for a long time. This first one kind of breaks a rule that I'm doing right now where I've told you guys I'm not buying games on multiple systems. I guess this is an exception because it was still on my list, and that is Akami. It is a very beautiful game. I do own it on PS3 and PS4. But this is the OG release, so I bit the bullet. And it was cheaper than what it usually goes for. It's in beautiful condition. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but it's not a PS5 game that I already own. But this next one, I've been after this for a very long time, to the point that like I search it up on eBay every week because I really want this game. I don't want to pay what it's going for. And I got it for about $30 what it's going for on eBay, and it's perfect condition and it completes my collection. And that is Atelier Iris 2, the Azeroth of Destiny. So now I've got all the Atelier games on PS2, PS3, and I got a couple more to get, which you'll see in a second.
Are they all connected?
The PS2 ones are. Some of the PS3 ones are like connected. There's 2 of the series, and then again for the PS4. So yeah, it depends on the title.
If those PS2 games were part of the same world, or there's just
they are, because it's 1, 2, and 3 on the PS2.
Okay. Then there's another one.
Surprisingly, these are quite expensive games these days. So.
Oh no, those are these PS2 RPGs are getting up there.
Yep.
They're finally catching up to.
Why are we talking about Atelier? I'll show you my PS4 pickup. I got this. It was a new listing on eBay. It was $60, but it usually goes for a bit more. And this version is more expensive and harder to find than the PS5 version. And that's Atelier Ryza 3. And I think that's for the fact that there's more PS5 versions out there than PS4 versions. Now, the only one I'm missing is Atelier Ryza 1. So I looked it up this week. And I found out there's one store in at least my state in Australia that has a copy. So I bought it, click and collect. It's like 150 kilometers away. I'm going to make a road trip out of it in a YouTube video and go and pick that game up.
Wait till there's a
So I
tornado.
own it. It's just sitting at an EV game store across the city from me. I've been after it for like 2 years. I don't even know if it's got the artwork. Who knows? Fingers crossed. But then
He just shows up after the series, tries fucking disco, and like just.
I know, but at least you get your money back, So I think it was worth buying it that way. They're holding it for me than waiting and someone else grabbed it and I miss out. It's one of those things. And it wasn't cheap. It was $79. So. I'm assuming it was sitting there because people were like, it's expensive. Not, that's a game I want. Let me snag it. It's not like it was $40. And then I've been on a PS2 binge. So I've been literally going through my list and shopping and buying stuff I want. And they are all eBay purchases, but they're all under $20. Like I was saying, you can get deals on eBay. In Australia, we've got a really big culture behind offers, and it's really competitive on eBay. So like getting 20-30% off isn't uncommon in Australia. Like you can even get 50% off sometimes because it's that competitive. And this first one is Gran Turismo 4 Prologue. This is the prologue to Gran Turismo 4, obviously. It's the last Gran Turismo game I needed in my collection. I now have every game and every spin-off title, so I'll do a collection pickup post soon, which will be kind of cool. Yeah, but this one just really went under the radar. I never see it in stores compared to like the other prologues, so happy to have this one. Next is a Crash game. This one usually goes for about $30. I got it for $18 in really nice condition. They even put it in a little baggie, and that's Crash Tag Team Racing, an absolute classic. Got to have all the Crash games series that I love. Sadly, it's not a PlayStation series anymore.
Oh, dude, it's gonna break my heart when I see that come out on Xbox. I did want to stop you just for a minute, just for a second. It is midnight, which means it's officially Brandy's birthday.
Yeah.
We've got to level up.
I know I don't get old. I level up. It's just like
I love it.
Where, and I'm shocked that I'm still awake at midnight on my birthday because before this, since I've been a little under the weather, I've been in bed like kind of early for like the past weeks. So this is like the latest that I've stayed up, and I'm glad because like it's cool.
Well, thanks for joining it with us, and happy birthday.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I got you a copy of Elder Scrolls. It's coming to your house. You just let me know when. Never mind. It's like an ongoing joke. What?
Look at the final one here, and it's probably my favorite for the reason that I paid $8 for this, and I'm excited to have it. And like, how cool is it? You can pay $8 and get something for your collection. Yeah, and that is SSX. This is a great
one. Yeah,
great game. It was the last one I was missing. It's even got the orange on the spine, which is cool because most PAL PS2 games are just white.
That is cool.
It's in perfect condition.
I didn't even realize that.
But yeah, I'm happy with this.
When you guys were talking earlier about, like people like, it's so expensive to collect. People can't, it doesn't have to be. You can collect still on a budget and get fun stuff. There, like you said, there are very good games that are very like Grand Theft Auto Vice City is a great game and it's not expensive. If you want to go back and play it, you can. You know what I mean? Like, there's still good games for cheap that you can get.
Yeah. I'm so unprepared because I was fighting with these cords and I didn't have my mouse plugged in. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with the computer because remember I moved it from the closet to here. I couldn't get logged on. I didn't bring any games up, so I'll just have to, I guess, say what I bought.
Yeah, whatever. See what you got at the games.
Usually I have like a show and tell, but it's like all toys in here.
I think everyone will believe you.
Yeah. So something I am buying today, though, So for my birthday, I figured that since I'm not working today, I figured I'd do like a let's play, and as long as everything like works out and Walmart has it in stock, it's the new Turtles game.
Nice.
So I want to do like a let's play today at some point. I'll have to sleep, at some point. And but it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Mutants Unleashed game, and I'm picking it up on the PlayStation 5 because Walmart has a Walmart only bundle. It's not the collector's edition. That's like $200+ at GameStop, and I pre-ordered it, but my order was canceled for some reason. I couldn't figure out why, and then I just got angry and I didn't want to try and do it again. I don't know if something had happened with their system, but when I like hit enter, it sent me something, but then like I checked again, it didn't have it. So like it might have been like a glitch. But they do have a $60 version, and it comes with like pins or keychains or stickers or like something. So I'm going to get that bundle, and then that way I can play it, cuz I did like the movie, and what we were talking about, I think prior to all this, like you're appealing to a new audience. We can't always have the perfect turtles, like the younger generation, they're not going to want the same reiteration over and over and over again. So like I heard mixed reviews with the game, but I want to give it a fair try, you know. So I am excited I am buying that today. That will
Nice.
happen. So that I guess is like a pickup in the future today.
And
And then
sorry.
and then I've been so in the GameCube era, since I'm collecting a full GameCube set, they had a lot of bobbleheads. So I'm trying to buy all the bobbleheads that they had. And I have like a bunch of them, but this is like one that I haven't shown yet. And I bought it on eBay, and they came in the box. These are the GameCube era, but they're not the GameCube versions of them. They just came out in the time frame. And they're these Mario and Luigi bobbleheads, and they came complete in the box. And then I have, so like these are like the plain ones. It's Mario, Luigi, and then I have the Mario one where he's holding the GameCube controller and he's like on the GameCube. So like they do have like some, but I just wanted to get all of them. And then they also have
Nintendo's so good at marketing, man.
Yeah, like you would get them like pre-orders and stuff too. Like they don't do that cool stuff anymore.
Yeah, and
then
Sony doesn't do any of that cool shit. They don't. They're so dumb.
And then I just bought, I haven't shown this one yet either. They're downstairs in the basement. A Beautiful Joe. This is a GameCube era.
Nice.
I thought that was the Guyver for a second, if anybody knows that terrible movie.
So they have a couple different ones of that. And then I bought the other one as well. Let's see. See, like I said, I just went on eBay and I went a little crazy.
You have fun sometimes.
But I did best offers on all of them. And then one of them was a bid win that I did. And then this one here, you got this for like pre-ordering the sports game. So I have this Kobe Bryant GameCube.
Nice.
So it says Nintendo GameCube, and then you get it for pre-ordering NBA Courtside 2000.
So I bet that one's worth money. I could see that. That's like one of those cross collectability pieces.
Yep.
Where you'll have GameCube fans, sports fans, Kobe fans,
bobblehead fans.
Bobblehead, yeah. That's definitely
like a win-win-win.
Yeah, that's definitely like when I look at stuff, and even when I don't know about stuff, I'm like, that's the type of stuff I think about. I'm like, with multiple people. You taught me that, Figsy. Like I learned.
Yeah,
that
like
the Lego games.
PS3 games that come with Lego or Hot Wheels or something. It's like suddenly you're like digging into multiple markets of collectors, and it's not expensive because of the gamers. It's expensive because of these guys, and then suddenly the gamers want to get involved, and then investors get involved because it's hit a new threshold of price, and the sealed version can suddenly go for thousands. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did also buy something else PlayStation related. Do I have a picture of it? When I was at Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, the video game convention, they had a bunch of t-shirts, vintage t-shirts.
Mhm.
And in my video, I did a pickups recap type of thing. And they actually had, I don't think I have a picture of it, but they had a Resident Evil Outbreak Fall 2
File 2?
t-shirt. It's like the
Weird.
one with like the hand.
Yeah.
So I bought that t-shirt. It's like a promo, and it says like some things on like the sleeve, and so I have to find that. But yeah, I did pick that up, so that is PlayStation related.
That's
And
cool
then
as hell. I've never seen a Outbreak File 2 shirt. That's pretty rare.
yeah, let me see if I could find Resident Evil. I think there was like one other one on eBay, and I got it extremely
Vintage clothing is another wild scene. All the Retro Rick guys are into that. Like, if you watch Retro Rick's videos, he'll be wearing some god awful shirt that's worth $1,000.
Yeah, this
his Shaq Fu shirt's worth like $1,000 or probably more. I don't even want to know. I don't want to insult him. It's probably worth so much more than I even think it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the t-shirt. It's a little hard to see, but there's one on eBay for $150. The front says Capcom, and then I think the side says something. Is it Game something or Blockbuster? I don't know. It says something like odd on like the sleeve. So like I know it's all authentic, and I did not pay $150. I didn't even pay triple digits, and I got it for like less than $50. So like I got a good deal. The guy had it up a little higher, and he knew that it was going to a collector, and he's worked with me in the past. And then something really cool that I totally forgot about. In the UK, there's a magazine that came out today, and I don't have it physical yet, but they do sell it at Barnes and Nobles everywhere. And it's called Retro Gamer Magazine.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it's this episode, or this edition. It's like number, is it 265? But I'm in there.
Yeah, let's go. That's awesome.
They did like a collector's corner,
Congrats.
and it's all about the Nintendo 64. So they did like a little interview. There is like one little typo, but that's totally fine. It's really hard to see in like the pictures, but pretty much
Gamer lamer. What the heck? No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? No, it should say like press kits, not insinuating that it's a Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut press kit. It should say press kits, comma, prototypes, comma. Like it's not singling that one game. It's just
Yeah.
generalization. So it should just have a comma before it and then an S, but that's fine.
You can have people reading and going, "There's a sculptor's cut press kit."
I know they're probably
all these people
like, she has that press kit. What? So I wanted to make sure that don't come hunting me down or something for some like rare thing that doesn't exist. But yeah, it's just they did like a whole little like interview. They wanted to focus on like top items in my collection, but they wanted to focus on the Nintendo 64. So it's called like the N64 $1,000 question, and then it's like, my jungle green Nintendo 64. Like I got it for free. It was a Christmas present. It's my childhood N64. So there's like a picture of that, and then my Mario statue because that's around that era. And then they show pictures of like my kiosks, all my set. Going for the worldwide set, the KB Toys cabinet that I have, they put that picture in there because it's the Nintendo 64, but it was converted by KB Toys to the GameCube, and it's complete. It has the locks, it has the shelves, it has the TV, it has the light box, like it's all complete. So it was just really
loved
cool.
KB Toys, by the way, when I was a kid. Just fucking loved it. Child World, KB Toys, Toys R Us. Cannot believe there's no toy stores anymore.
It's like so sad. I think
we've got a new toy store that's opened up. It's sort of like Toys R Us, but they don't sell video games. So yeah,
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go in there and I'm like, this isn't exciting. I'll look at like Lego and stuff like that, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, they're not the same anymore. But it was cool, that I got the do something like that. So I already ordered a physical version of the magazine, and then as soon as they show up, I think in December at Barnes and Nobles, because they said from like the UK shipping it takes like a couple times to get the most recent magazine or something. The way they were explaining it.
sense.
So I'm just gonna check back like every week.
So
And then
people
when
can buy it at Barnes and Noble though if they want to get a copy in the United States, or
yeah, it's Retro Gamer magazine, and it should be the one with Sonic like Generations on the front cover, and you can buy it digital. It's like $6.99 or $4.99 or something. If you just Google Retro Gamer magazine, like I bought it digital as well, and then you can ship it to yourself, but it says it'll show up like December 4th or something, and it's like $15 because you got to pay for shipping. So I did order one that way. I have the Gebs 24. She said that she's going to look for a copy for me to see if she can send me one. And then I'm also going to buy them at Barnes and Nobles, because I went into my Barnes and Nobles and they had editions 263 and 262. They didn't have 264 or 65 or whatever the numbers is. They didn't have the two newest. So they're like a month.
And it makes sense that the US get them after the UK and things like that. Especially like magazines these days. It's not like they were 20 years ago. The amount that they would be selling would be very minimal.
Yeah, like they had like 5, I think, in total of like the one edition, and then they had like 1 or 2 left of the older one. So I'm assuming that like they probably only get so many, and then like some probably sit a little longer, and then someone will eventually buy it. So, but when it comes here, I'm gonna buy all of them that I see. So I'm gonna go to like 2 different Barnes and Nobles and buy like 10 of them, so I can just have them.
Well, you can give them out as presents to people, you're in it, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll like, just hand them out.
well, if I got a copy, I'm gonna make you sign it someday. I hope you know that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Maybe I should sign a bunch, and then because Christmas is coming up. Another thing that I've been buying recently is in Christmas I like to give back because I feel like a lot of people go without during the holidays, and a lot of people can't afford things, and like as we're older we get a little bit more blessed. So I do the 25 days of Christmas, and every day, like the 1st through the 25th, I give away something. So I've been going over everything that I have in my game room, different things that I've been picking up and buying all year round, and I'm making bundles of things. I did it last year and it did pretty well. Like a lot of kids got things, and people were messaging me and saying, I'm glad I gave this to my son. He's really happy. It went to kids a lot, I
That's
think.
good.
So, or like people that, kind of needed this stuff, not always, the people that buy a lot. So I'm doing it again this year. So
I'm not getting anything, is what you're saying.
Huh?
I'm not getting anything, is what you're saying.
Well, you never know. It's like a random generator.
I buy everything I need. You can't get me Christmas presents. My girlfriend's like, "What the hell am I supposed to buy you? You buy every fucking toy that you want, everything that you own. There's nothing you don't hold back."
And if you don't own it, it's because it's like way too expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's hard to buy for collectors.
Give me an OLED Steam.
Yeah,
exactly.
But these are like little like toy bundles, or like, if GameStop has like a clearance section and they have like these big Bowser play sets. Like I bought 3 of them because it was like buy 1, get 2 or whatever. But I'm going to bundle it with more. Like I'm not just giving like cheap stuff. Like it's going to be like that with like a couple things. And like last year I gave away like a couple Switch games, and they were like Wario something and Pokemon Snap, and like I gave away like a bunch of good stuff. It was like probably like almost $1,000 worth of stuff. And then I paid for the shipping. So like I went to the post office every day, and every day it was like $20+ to ship the items. So it was like $300+
25 times.
Yeah, and I
I
didn't think of that. So every day I was like, oh no, like I didn't know it was so much, but it was fine because that's what I want to do more. Like this stuff isn't meant to just sit in a room. Like I want to show things. I want to like bring things to conventions for people to see. I want to eventually do more. I want to like give back a little bit more, and I want people to still keep physical media alive, and I want younger generations to continue to collect, and I want to give someone like a better experience than maybe some of us have, or I just feel like that's the way to go in life. Like, you don't want to just hoard everything and be miserable, and like, I don't know, like you gotta like pass on things, and you gotta like bring positivity, and you gotta make the world a little bit of like a better place. So
Yeah,
You don't wanna be-
you're not taking this collection to the grave with you. You want to be like,
Yeah.
I had the intentions, like, before I get to that point, I would have sold the entire collection and, had fun with all the items and gone through it all and made it like a massive journey in the start and the end.
yeah.
You
And I'm
find
trying
its
to
new
like,
home.
I'm hoping one day all this goes somewhere. Like, I'm trying to work on some things myself, but like, if I could donate everything somewhere for people to see it, like, I don't need it. It's like, I want it to be seen and preserve the history, and to have creative things. Like, that's why, like, I don't ever want to sell anything, just because I feel like all of this has like a greater purpose than my house. So like, that's why I'm not in it for like the money aspect. I want it to end up somewhere, type of
Like
thing.
100 years' time, there'll be museums
But
full of
that's
just pop
me.
culture
I'm a little
items.
weird.
This
Oh,
is
I've
the
actually,
Nintendo
I
Museum.
don't
And
know.
it's every video game that ever got released
Yep,
on the
one day it'll
Nintendo.
be out of the house somewhere.
I put a stipulation in my will that it will all be buried with me. No one gets it.
That'll
No
probably
one
be
gets to play with
big-
it.
That'll be a big hole, Joe.
You'll need like a lot of coffins,
Are you trying to say I'm fat?
or like,
That's
what
how you
do
got a
they
lot of
used to do?
stuff.
You need like a whole like tomb or like pyramid or something, right?
That's what I did. I do a sarcophagus, or what do they call them?
Yeah, whatever they are.
A mausoleum or something.
Mausoleum. Yeah, mausoleum. There you
Yeah.
go. That's it. That's what I need. And I want
That's
one with like
pretty much.
with girls with big titties on the outside of it. That's what I want. Sorry, the show's off the rails. It's weird.
They're going to open it in 1,000 years expecting gold and treasures and be like, all we found was plastic.
Yeah, it was some.
Why did he want to be
stupid game.
buried with plastic?
Something called Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. What's this crap? Like,
No, some guy 3,000 years will be like, Evil Dead, sweet. Yeah, let's go. play this."
Concord. This is a
Yeah,
great
I'm
game.
not getting buried with Concord. All right.
Can we still play it?
No.
Gosh. So, Brandy, where can people find you?
Right here. No, I'm kidding.
We're doing this
Pretty
every
much-
week, guys. Permanent. Woo!
Surprise. No, just pretty much anywhere on social media, Gamer Ahmer or whatever. I think some of them I have like, it's like X Brand Lion X, but if you search Gamer Ahmer, that pops up. That was just the gamer tag or something that I had, but pretty much Gamer Ahmer. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, and some other ones that like never took off, the socials that were like supposed to be like the new things. So pretty
What's
much
the-
everywhere.
MySpace page
The
on there.
Facebook one I only click on when I'm accidentally scrolling Instagram and I click on something and it's like send me to Freds and I'm like, oh, this program. Close that
Threads,
back to
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, like
You
all
know it's
those
bad
ones.
when they got to put ads for their own social media platforms.
No, so
They really do though.
I put links to your YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter down in the
Perfect.
comments. So I don't know. That's my 3 basic ones I go with. But yeah, definitely go check out the channels, guys, and subscribe. Her collection's absolutely insane. There's a reason that she's been featured in that magazine and some newspapers, and also, I mean, it's
The Hulu
absolutely
episode, and
honestly, like it's
I've been
pretty
some places.
pretty impressive. So, I know we didn't see a lot of her collection today, but you should check it out. It's really worth it if you're into this stuff. So,
No, I appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate you guys having me, and couldn't think of a better way to start my birthday instead of, because I really would have just probably went to sleep and then missed like the whole like, oh, it's your birthday, type of thing.
Well, I'm glad
But-
you were here and you could celebrate it with us. That was fun.
Yeah,
Level
and
up.
even though I'm older, I could still stay up past midnight. Like, this is great. Like, I'm not that old, just level up. We're not We're not old.
Just gained
So-
a couple of XP, and this skill went up, and this skill went up. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Some Jolt Cola, and some Doritos. We can play some games. Be good to go. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping they did not sell out of the Turtles game that has mixed reviews, but definitely plan on in so many hours from now. I'm hoping I can at least play it for a few hours, kind of see what it's like, and then just have a good time playing some games on my birthday. That's the plan.
Heck yeah. Well, I hope you have a lovely birthday. And again, thank you for coming on. Everybody who watched, appreciate you guys watching. If this is the first time, you could like, share, and subscribe. All that stuff on my channel and Figsy's channel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go, Joe, we have a special show next week.
We do have a special show next week. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's probably the biggest show. Next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're having our big Halloween special.
Nice.
And you're welcome to come on again, Brandy, if you'd like to. If you were going to come on 2 weeks ago, we're doing it. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of guests. I don't want to fully announce it yet just because I haven't secured everybody's booking, so I don't want to false promise or anything. But if you guys
this looks pretty exciting, so it should be fun.
Yes,
if half the people show up, it'll be a cool episode.
Yeah, if half the people I invite to show up, it'll be amazing. So if everybody shows up, it'll be incredible. So if you want to keep an eye on my Twitter, I'll post on it later this week. Everybody's going to be on, but yeah, it should be Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be a good one.
Nice. And Halloween's great, so that will definitely be a great one.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're going to talk about movies, games, candies, whatever.
I now live in a neighborhood where people aren't afraid to talk to their neighbors, so I've bought lollies and stuff, expecting kids to trick or treat. Because my whole place is no one talks to their neighbors. Everyone's got guard dogs, and now it's a friendly neighborhood, so I get to participate.
Yeah, we get a lot. So I give out those trick or trade Pokemon cards and candy.
Oh,
and
that's
then
cool.
last year, or no, I did it 2 years ago when they announced the Pokemon cards because they're just little packs, and I gave them out.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that.
Candy and
this might sound bad, but there's a shop that sells fake Pokemon cards in town. So I was gonna go buy a bunch and give them out to the kids. The kids don't care, right?
Yeah, they just want to play with them or whatever. But no, these they got a little bit better over the years. I think it's $20 and you get 50 or so packs or whatever in there, and you just give 1 or 2 out to each kid, plus a handful of candy. And the first year I did it, one kid was like, "She's giving out Pokemon cards!" It was screaming it, and all these kids came running, and I was like, "Here's some candy and some cards. Here's some," and they loved it. It was great. I wish that happened for me back in the day, but I would get sauce packets and string cheese at some houses,
I remember getting an orange, and it was so weird. I ate the orange too. Mom's like, "What'd you get?" And I'm like, "I got an orange." But Australia really didn't celebrate Halloween 20 years ago. It was a weird concept because it was "Oh, you're trying to be American." Now it's just, social media's made the American culture everywhere.
It's normalized a little
I
bit.
hope not.
Some things.
I hope not all of it. Some of it. Did Jerry Springer make it over there? I hope not.
Yeah. That was Jerry Springer was what you watched when you were sick and you didn't go to school.
Yeah,
Maury
Povich. You are not the father. So, all right, guys, we gotta call it. Hope everybody has a great evening. This was
Have
awesome.
a good weekend, guys.
We'll have you back.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday, Amy, too.
Thank you.
Later.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song. ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be.